Just got a notification.
All right, so we are live right now. Welcome to the channel, guys. Corey
What's
here,
up,
Driveway
guys?
Demons. You know, I got JMC Rides in the house as well. So say what's up, JMC.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So the chat is there. It's open for everybody to chat amongst yourselves as usual. It's the first time I've actually had JMC on the channel. Got a lot of things to talk about today. I'm gonna, start off with, the Hellcat Redeye, which has been the topic on my channel quite some time, 2 weeks now, and I'm pretty pumped. And basically, the first question for JMC Rides is going to be, what do you think of the Hellcat Redeye, and what do you think about me picking it up and, being pretty much one of the first, if not maybe even the first on YouTube with it?
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully you get that thing soon. I think the Redeye is absolutely awesome. I mean, I've been trying to to make my own version of the Redeye. A while ago, I don't know if you've seen a video. I actually posted a video where I was actually considering trading my Hellcat in for a Redeye, but that definitely didn't happen because of the huge loss that I would take in the value.
Right.
Now, by me adding the demon parts, and I don't know if you know this, I got a question for you now. On the Redeye, do you know if they're going to have the same demon drive shaft and demon rear gears?
Yes. The good news for the Redeye is that indeed it's going to have all the stuff that the demon had, minus, of course, the trans brake.
Okay.
Which I wish they would. I got a picture up there for you guys to see, just to make you guys drool even more. The Redeye will be pretty much a demon minus trans brake, and I think there's one other thing. Oh yeah, the skinnies, and of course the race tune. We don't need the skinnies. We don't need the race tune. We can get tires and tunes on our own. So basically, this is a demon with just trans brake missing. So that's a big thing. The trans brake's a very important thing, and it's I would say it's a must-have for drag racing. But here's the thing: like I've said in my previous, podcast, my previous live videos, vlogs, everywhere, I've said it a lot, and we'll see what JMC thinks of this. And if he disagrees, it's totally cool. I want his honest opinion.
Yeah.
I think the Demon is the most amazing muscle car ever produced before the Redeye. And the reason I say this is because the Demon is a one-trick pony, and it's really good for running the quarter mile at the drag strip. It sucks on a highway roll and is just not set up for that, and it's just not meant for that. And the Demon was not a roll racer, and it's not a highway car, and the Hellcat Redeye is. So I think overall, it's, if you're not going to be living at the drag strip, the Redeye is the better choice.
Now, do they give you the option of doing the 309s on the Redeye? I think they do, don't they?
They do. You can do the 309s or you can do the 262s.
Yep.
But there's no manual transmission. And the reason there's no manual transmission is because of the fact that the Tremec 6060 can't handle 900 horsepower.
Yeah.
800.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously I have an auto too, and I do auto just because I like to win races at the end of the day.
we all do. And I have some questions here. It says, are you going to lease it? I'm not. I don't think. I'm probably going to finance it. It's better like that. The thing is, though, is that, last time I did a video, they're like, hey, why are you making fun of the Demon? I'm like, I'm not making fun of the Demon. Demon's a great car. The problem is that, the Demon, like I said, is not a roll racer, and it doesn't race in Mexico very well. In fact, every Demon that's ever went to Mexico has had its heart broken and come back losing.
Well, hold on. If we're going to be honest here, a lot of these Demons that go to Mexico are being driven by owners that don't know how to drive them. I just got to throw that out there, because I beat one of those Demons in Mexico also, and I only have a Hellcat. And that was from a dig.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it depends on how you're racing in Mexico. Roll racing is what I'm specifically talking about. I think that the Demon, people will probably hate what I'm about to say, but I think that the Demon, for the most part, if you were to put 262 gears in it, I think it would be a better car. Why? The Demon would still run 999s bone stock with race fuel on the race fuel tune. with skinnies, you'd lose about 2 to 3 tenths going to the 262. You might lose a little bit more, but you know what? I say fuck it. If you're going to run 999s or 10 flat with 262s in a Demon, you get to have a Hellcat with a trans brake. It depends on what you're doing. If you're buying a Demon to drag race, which is what it's intended to, sure. But if I was to ever get my hands on a Demon, the first mod I would give it would be 262 gears and tires that have a higher speed. Then I would have the trans brake and all that power, and I'd be able to go great at the track, but I'd also be able to go to Mexico and actually win. 309s are a very poor choice of a rear end for a race in Mexico. Now, a Demon should be able to beat a stock Mustang GT. I don't see why it can't. But I don't think a stock Demon on pump gas has any chance against a Hellcat. It definitely has no chance against a Redeye. Do we agree there, though, James?
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's all about the gearing. I mean, and it all boils down to, like I said, whether you like to do roll racing or racing from a dig. I'm a dig racer. I like to race from a dig just because I learned, even with my Hellcat being stock, racing from a dig, I think it takes some skill. And most people, when I race them, they have no idea how to launch their cars. They just sit there doing a burnout most of the time. But doing the roll racing, you definitely want to do the 262s. I'm obviously, I'm running the 309s. I still got my 262s in my basement just sitting there, but I'm doing the 309s for now. And I'm planning on, maybe doing some more mods. I got to make sure I stay ahead of the curve. So I want to make sure I don't get beat by no red eyes.
That's definitely something. You got the Hellcat with the 309, so you're geared like a Demon.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my son. Yeah, buddy. What are you saying, buddy? He comes in here to talk to me because every time I'm talking about cars, he can hear me say Hellcat and stuff, and it's his favorite car. As far as 309 gears in your Hellcat, I'd be surprised. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, don't fall though. I don't know if 309 gears, how that would pan out. I would like to see 309 gears in your Hellcat. I'd like to see you running with the 309 gears, but racing a Demon. I would like to see if a stock Demon versus you with your 309 gears, what the outcome would be like. It'd be very interesting. Oh,
like I said, I've done that already on the channel. I actually raced Tunnel Chaser a few times. But the issue with that race was traction. I had the same tires. I was running the Nitto NT05Rs, the 315, but traction was the biggest issue with the Demon. Whereas with me, I was just kind of easy on the throttle and just giving it enough to not lose control. Now, if the Demon actually, if the Demon is launched properly, even in Mexico, you're going to win. There's no question the Demon's going to win. It's making more power.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely. We did 4 races, and I won 2 out of 4, but the 2 that I won, the Demon just had, no traction those 2 times.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'd be curious to see you racing a Demon in Mexico from a roll, because if you beat a Demon from a roll, then there's something else going on inside the Demon besides the gearing or like the final gear in the rear end, because you got 309s too. So a Demon on pump fuel still makes more power than you. So I'd expect it to walk away. But if it didn't walk away hard, then it would mean that there's something else going on inside the Demon, like maybe transmission gearing might be different. Although I'm not so sure on that.
It's supposed to be the same transmission, isn't it?
I thought it was. I know for sure that the Redeye doesn't have the exact same transmission as the Hellcat. The Redeye's transmission and torque converter are beefed up Demon setup. So pretty much everything that the Demon has, minus the skinnies, the race fuel tune, and last but not least, a trans brake. If you minus those 3 out, every driveline part, the half shaft axles in the rear, the drive shaft itself, everything is Demon. Everything. So I'm quite interested to see my Hellcat Redeye, race a Demon on pump, 93 pump from a roll. Yeah, because a Demon's making 808, my Redeye's making 797, but with those 262 gears,
I think we win.
I think it's going to be pretty bad because a Hellcat only makes 707 stock,
And those can pretty much beat a Demon from a roll with 262. So having Demon power and a Demon drive line, all the Demon stuff, and having it from a roll with 262s,
you're gonna smoke it.
Yeah, I think not only that, I think the Hellcat Redeye is going to be a highway queen. I think it's going to beat almost everything on the highway because the Hellcat has got the best gearing for a highway roll. I mean, my Hellcat made 785 corrected, 801 standard on a dyno, and I raced Mike's 720. Now, that was a race tune running 850, but I raced him in my Charger, which is 300 pounds heavier than a Challenger, 200 and some odd pounds heavier. And he barely walked away. And when he started walking away, we were doing 160 miles an hour before he could walk away. Now imagine a Redeye, 300 pounds lighter, 200 something pounds lighter. And a Redeye with a race fuel tune is going to be like the Demon. A Demon on race fuel tuned by HHP makes 930 wheel horsepower. So take my Hellcat Charger, take 300 pounds out of it, and add 80 more to the wheels. We're talking about a setup that's going to walk a stock 720. Like it's going to be a highway monster. I just can't even imagine.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a test that I would love to see. I would love to see a Redeye, right, doing a roll race with a Hellcat that has an LMI colder intake and a can tune, just like a regular tune, no other modification. Roll race, just to see the difference. Again, the reason why I'm saying this is because I mentioned to you before that I think it was a Demonology.
Yeah.
That he dynoed the Demon and the Hellcat on the same dyno, same day, and they claimed it was like a 35 to 40 horsepower difference. You know, and in reality, there should be a much bigger difference. It's supposed to be 100 horses almost. So I'd like to see how the Redeye is. Now, I know the Redeye, once you modify the Redeye, forget about it. The Redeye is going to have more potential to pull in more power than a Hellcat, obviously.
That connectivity issues here. Just bear with us here.
Your audio was kind of acting up again.
Yeah, something's going on with the, I think it's my internet connection that's doing that to it. So yeah, it just kind of like keeps chopping the audio in and out. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with my Wi-Fi over here. I got fast internet, but for some reason it's not hitting the computer properly.
We'll talk about that after the call. I'll help you with that.
Now, as far as the horsepower, I do agree that something's going on. The Demon's not making or putting power down. Now, somebody had, or in the difference it should be, someone had just asked a few seconds ago, I can't remember who it was, I'm scrolling through comments right now, but they had said something about the weight difference. That was Bill Wilson. The weight difference between the Redeye and the Demon are negligible. There's no difference. Now, the reason I say that is because the Demon you can take the seats out of, but you can do the same thing with the Challenger. You can delete the seats too in the Redeye. The difference is, if you want to know the truth, the Demon actually might be slightly heavier. And the reason I say that is because the wheels on the Demon and the tires are Nitto NT, I believe they're NT05Rs. They're like a custom-made tire, and they're very heavy. Even Demonology said it. They're very, very heavy.
What tires is the car coming with?
My car, my Redeye's got the 19s, the factory wheels, which are probably, or the 20s, I mean, which are going to be a little heavier than the Demon wheels, but the tires are going to be lighter because I'm getting the Pirelli performance tires, which are not as heavy as the Nitto NT05Rs. So if you took a Demon with full interior that has no delete, and you take my Redeye with no delete, they're probably going to be identical. I don't see why there'd be any difference at all.
So when I got my wide body, you're going to have the same wheels and tires I got, most likely. When I got mine, I had the option of doing all seasons or the summers.
Yeah.
I got the Pirelli summer tires on mine. Now, mine is just a Hellcat. Again, I'm doing everything from a dig, but from a dig, with the Pirellis, I had no traction. And that's the reason why I ended up doing the 315 Nitto NT05R on my stock wheels. It would give me better traction for the street. And then for real serious racing, that's when I go to the weld wheels with the Mickey Thompson ET Street Rs.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do too. I'm going to be picking up some Mickey Thompson street radials for the Redeye, because if I can get my 0 to 60 or my 60-foot time down to like 1.8, 1.9, or even better, like even 1.8, I should be busting 1090s or 11 flats bone stock. So that's very respectable. I don't want to go to a slick For many reasons, because one, well, I'm going to have no choice to eventually do it, but slicks will tear up a transmission and stuff if you launch too hard. Plus, I don't think it's even necessary because I've seen a lot of Hellcat guys run the Mickey Thompson street radials and they're getting 1.7 60 foots. So hypothetically, we're going to do this in hypothetics because it's not here yet. We don't have the facts 100%. But a Redeye on pump, this is not even a race tune, a Redeye on pump should make about 850 wheel. So with some really good radials and a 1.7 60 foot, my Redeye on pump should be running, I would say, a 10-10, 10-20, maybe a 10 flat, about 140, 142.
Oh, you're talking about 93 octane right now?
Yeah, 93 octane, the Redeye should do about 850 wheel because it's got a bigger blow. It's the Demon, and a Demon on 93 with a proper tune can run about 825 to 850 wheels.
You're talking about tune, not stock. Okay, okay.
Yeah, talking about a tune over at HHP. So if I get it tuned with race fuel, Mickey Thompsons aren't going to be good enough. I'm going to need slicks. Drag radials won't be enough for 950 wheel. It's just not going to be enough.
Oh, I can imagine. But even stock, I think completely stock with the factory, just stock tune, I think you should be definitely in the 10s because Hellcats with Mickey Thompsons are in the high 10s.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I was to get some good Mickey Thompson radios, heat them up really good, and launch really good on a good day and get like a 1.6, 1.7, 60 foot, everything's going the way it should, I should be able to get a 10.6, 10.7 at 138, 137. Yeah.
If you do Mickey Thompsons, you should look at that new size. That new size, it came out like 6 months ago. Everybody does the 305s.
Right.
Running the 315/50, so it's got a taller sidewall. It fills in all that wheel gap. It looks badass. And even on the street, when I'm launching, it almost feels like the front of the car is kind of lifting up now.
Oh, yeah.
315 is way better.
Yeah, I might have to do that because it'd be really nice to get out there and put the Redeye to work. Now, I'm going to be getting the Redeye, not to indulge into another topic yet. It'll be reserved for a couple minutes from now about the Redeye's delivery dates and whatnot. But it's going to be really hard to do a whole lot because the tracks at ATCO and stuff like that don't open back up until March. And me taking delivery of the Redeye at the middle to end of December, first week of January, is going to put me in a little bit of a pickle because I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot of racing yet, but I plan on going immediately in March. But until then, I'm going to race JMC in Mexico. We're going to see what happens between a Redeye and a regular wide-body Hellcat. I also have the GT Haas experience coming up yet again. What do you think of that, JMC, about going to GT Haas again?
I was actually just looking at the GT Haas. For some reason, I don't know why, but it's like I swear, I feel like my iPhone listens to my conversations. We were talking about GT Haas. I was telling somebody about it, and then I go to my Instagram feed, and for some reason, they popped up on my feed. But that exhaust looks really nice. So basically, it has like an electric flap in there where that opens up. So it's almost like a straight pipe, I guess, when it's open.
Yeah. What happens is GTOS exhaust systems are handmade. They're not mass produced like a lot of other exhaust systems. Even Corsa, which is on my Hellcat right now, which is one of the best exhaust systems money can buy, one of the best, is mass produced, meaning that machines completely make them and they produce dozens and dozens and dozens a day. GT Haas only produces anywhere from 5 or 6 exhausts a week. We're talking one a day, sometimes one every. These guys just, they're not mass producing, they're making them by hand. That's why they cost so much money, because it's supply and demand, and they can't meet the demand with the supply due to quality. These things are not mass produced in a factory. I've been there. It's literally a warehouse, and they've got state-of-the-art equipment, and you've got like 5 guys working there and 1 guy doing all the welding, and he spends all day just welding, and it takes him like 3 hours to weld 1 muffler because of the quality. These guys are using, like, I don't know a lot about steel, but they're using the best quality equipment, welds and steel you can get. I've never seen a muffler that looks so clean. Like, it's mind-boggling to see the quality of the welds. And you know, I had a guy message me on Instagram like 6 months ago, or maybe a little bit sooner than that. Maybe it was more recent, like 4 or 5 months ago. But he said, "Hey, what exhaust do you recommend for my Durango? And I was like, GTOs, hands down. And he's like, oh, I looked at GTOs and it's like $3,000 plus the key fob and electronics. It's going to be like $3,800 or $4,000, and the X pipe's $1,000. I'm like, listen, it is very expensive, and I can't imagine what it'd be like to have to, worry about spending that kind of money. Because the fact that I've got a really good hookup with John, I know him well, and he sponsors all my cars. But I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, you're not going to get an exhaust of that quality anywhere else. I have Corsa right now on my Hellcat. I had Corsa on my BMW. I had Corsa on my Mustang. I had pipes. I had MagnaFlow. I've had Flowmasters. I have an exhaust fetish, to say the least.
I'm the same way with the exhaust. But let me ask you a question. Yeah. Have you ever heard the GT Haas on a Hellcat?
Yes.
How does it sound? Because I'm also, don't forget, like I'm a Dodge guy, but I've had a lot of Corvettes also. And on all my Corvettes, I always run either Corsa Extreme, and some of my older vets, I was running Corsa Sport because Extreme didn't exist back then.
Right.
But as far as Corsa Extreme versus GT Haas, which one is louder?
The GT Haas is significantly louder when compared to a Corsa, and when the flaps are closed, it's quieter. So basically, what you're getting with the GTOs is you're getting an exhaust that is louder when open, quieter when closed, and being able to do that whenever you want. The thing is, it's a true 3-inch exhaust, and it's mandrel bent, and the pipes are super smooth. So what happens is the exhaust is least restricted when it's open. It's really loud. It's a very good sounding exhaust. If you watch my video called Durango Goes to the Diner, Durango gets a GT Haas, super loud exhaust, rev battle. It's like, you'll see the thumbnail. It's me with a bunch of cars. And you'll hear what the Challenger Hellcat sounded like with the GT Haas. It was so loud in the building, we had to stop. It was just killing my ears. We had to leave and go outside. If you look at the video, you'll see the garage doors open. And the reason for that is because it was too loud with the garage door closed and too much gas fumes on top. But it was just friggin' awesome. Like, that was the first time I'd heard a GT Haas live in person. And I went there without, reserve. I didn't have any thoughts one way or another. I was just like, I'm pretty excited to see what they offer. Yeah. And I walked into the building. Is it too loud? Hold on. Let me turn my mic down. Just give me 1 second. I think the
problem you had before with the cable.
Oh, is it? So it doesn't sound any better if I just turn
it does sound better. Like much better.
Now it's better?
Perfect.
Okay. There's too much gain. Sorry about that. So what happened was, that's funny. Dan the man said you get your money back if you don't wake the dead or the neighbors. Yeah, I agree. It was super good. If you go back and watch any of my Durango SRT videos or the video I put up about Tim Kaniskis the other day, you will indeed see that the Durango sounded great and supercharged vehicles are louder. But I walked in there and John was like, before we put your Durango in the air, and do an exhaust system, what we're going to do is we're going to let you hear what we have. So he brings me back to the factory and, or like this, I don't even know what the hell you'd call it. It would just be like storage / factory. But he brings me back there with a bunch of expensive cars and he just, revving these cars up and firing them up. And I was like, holy fuck, this sounds so good. I cannot wait to get my Durango fitted with the GTOs. And so when I got the Durango fitted, I basically came back and fired up my Hellcat, and I said it many times in different videos. My Hellcat sounded like crap compared to the Durango. And the Hellcat sounds great, don't get me wrong, but I would have loved to have heard my Hellcat, with the GTO.
So hold on, because you see, I love loud exhaust systems. Like right now, I have the mid muffler delete on my first Challenger. I spent so much money. I bought, I think, Corsa, Borla Attack, SLP Loudmouth. I mean, I did the Zoomers. I went through so many because I'm always looking for that perfect sound. Right. So, and I like it. I want it to be as loud as possible. And the GT Haas with the switch, you said it's quieter. So mid-muffler delete versus GT Haas in open mode. Is GT Haas still louder than the mid-muffler delete?
Significantly louder. Yeah. It's not even close.
Really?
Yeah, and see, the thing is that when you delete your catalytic converter on a Hellcat and go with, say, JBA catless downpipes, which I had too, you have this really loud kind of wake the dead raspy sound, which I don't like. It's just kind of like screechy, scratchy kind of sound. It's like, wow, it's just like out there. That's fine. But when you get the GTOS exhaust, it is louder, but it doesn't have that scratchy, screechy. It's more grumbly.
Yeah.
It's more toned. That's the word I was going to use earlier, is that the GTOS exhaust maintains a tonality that you'd expect from a quiet exhaust while getting loud. You're getting louder without the drone, without the screech, without the rasp, without the gargles. It pops and it pops more, and it's loud, and it's got a nice tone to it, and it sounds so aggressive to the RPM range. They really tuned it. It's nice. Yeah.
I'm drooling over here because I always love like really loud exhaust systems. And I don't know. I mean, on the first Challenger, I did straight pipe with the stock catalytic converter. Then I got rid of the catalytic converter, straight pipe also. I kept trying every possible setup.
Yeah.
But my issue with the straight pipe, with and without the cat, it sounded good under heavy acceleration, but under slow acceleration, it sounded very sloppy. And it sounded like crap under like slow, you know, if you're slowly accelerating. So I may have to talk to your boy, John at GT Hoss to see what he could do.
Yeah, I'm going to have a discount code hopefully for everybody. But I'm going to play a video on my phone so you guys can hear, because now that you're here, I want you to hear this. And this is the video that I did the other day that had the Durango clip. So take a listen to this and let you hear it. Now, if I go back and I play it one more time, you'll hear that it's not raspy, because I do have another clip here of my Hellcat without catless down, or with catless downpipes, and it's very raspy. Even though this exhaust is loud, you can hear the tones. So even though it's loud,
it sounds like a lion or a tiger growling right there.
Yes, yes, it does. What I'm doing here is I am going back to, let me see here. I got a video here that I want to share with you guys with my son in my Durango. How's everybody feeling in the chat? Do you guys want to see another Durango video? I know you guys do. Everybody's flaming me. And I'll get into some stuff later on in this video about why I got rid of the Durango. I can't tell you every detail, but we're going to get into that and the things that I'm thinking of in the future for the Durango. But I do have a video here that I'm looking for currently with my son and me in the Durango. There it is. I think I found it. And this one's actually one of my favorite videos. Now, my son yells something in the back because he loves it. So let me see if this is it. Okay, this is it, I believe. This is inside the car. You can see this is a video of me and my son. So he likes it.
You like that, don't you?
Now, I get on it again. Right here. So he likes it. And you can't really hear it. It's not too loud because I didn't redline it, but you can hear the tone. You can hear like it's a grumbly growl when you start to get into that range, because anybody who's got a Hemi knows that between the 6.4 liter and the 6.2 supercharged, those two engines right around 3,500 RPM, they start to get a little bit louder. When you go full throttle, you get like that rush of sound. And if you don't have the right exhaust system, it's just a bunch of flutter and raspiness. Whereas with the GT-Hoss, when you're in that range, that's where it sounds the absolute best. It has a type of growl. In fact, Paul at Family Cruisin' reviewed my Durango, and I might have to go to his channel and steal another clip to show you guys, because if you guys didn't see that, he actually rips it over and over and over again. He didn't even talk about the Durango. And here's the funny thing. I'm not making fun of his review because he did a good job, but the exhaust is so good that when he reviewed the Durango, he didn't really review the Durango. He was reviewing the exhaust. He
I
spent
saw,
half.
I saw that video. Wasn't there that other YouTuber? I don't remember his name, but there's like the one that looks like a little kid.
Oh, Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like it says he's the 16-year-old. Yeah. I'm going through his videos right now because I really think that his review of my Durango is where you'd hear the exhaust inside the car the best, because it was loud because he was ripping it, and you can hear it inside the car, and it just sounded badass. So I'm going through now to pull it up.
What happened to the stock exhaust flaps?
The what?
You know the exhaust flaps, with the active exhaust in the Hellcat. What happens is GT-Hos.
Oh, yeah. What happens is GT-Hos has a setup where they put it on the side of the exhaust. You keep them plugged in, and they've got like an electronic flap on the side somewhere on the exhaust. So when the flaps open and close, they have a resistance for the motor. So they'll open when they're supposed to and close when they're supposed to, but nothing happens. They don't do anything.
Okay.
It's completely closed. It's like a dummy setup, so you don't get a check engine light.
Gotcha.
So here is his review. So this is him reviewing it. Now all I have to do is
look at this back end. I love those lights.
I'm going to skip ahead to where he's driving.
I'm going to turn head with address and ventilate this shifter that's in E.
Okay, let's skip ahead. There we go. Now you guys will hear it. He gets on it a couple of times. My son's got my racing helmet on. Look at this.
Responsiveness is good. I really like this gauge cluster.
He loves cars.
Speedometer.
Hi, buddy.
And I like the tag being in the dead center, which I didn't expect.
There we go.
And does that exhaust and the whole thing sound really, really, really good? I wish I could get rid of the turbo twin key and get one of these.
See, even Paul couldn't resist romping on it. You guys heard in the actual cabin, it sounded so good. What's up, buddy? Say hi to everybody on YouTube. Say hi to everybody on YouTube. Hey, look, stand up here. Tell everybody that you're going to be a race car driver in about 10 years.
He's going to be hosting these podcasts very soon.
Hi.
Hello.
Alan, they're 20-inch wheels, and the tires are 305s. Are you a race car driver? So, the GT-Hos has got a tone quality that you absolutely can't beat. The only thing about GT-Hos that gets everybody is the price, but it's like everything else in life. You get what you pay for, because they've spent so many hours researching tone and quality and sound. And another piece of information that even I didn't know until I was there, and they physically spent time explaining it and told me, they don't have the same muffler for every vehicle. They took the Jeep SRT mufflers and had to mod them for the Durango, not because they didn't fit, because every vehicle has an individual sound. So like if you have two engines that are identical, but one has a 3 or 4 inch longer wheelbase, that means the exhaust has to be 3 inches longer. When you add 3 inches to an exhaust system, the tone gets deeper and quieter, which means the muffler has to be higher flowing and have less resistance so that you don't get a quieter exhaust. It's really a game of math and engineering. So these guys, have to change everything. So if you say, oh, I got a Challenger, it's basically the same engine as a Charger. It's not that hard. You don't understand. They got to change the pipes, the length, the X pipe, the mounting locations, the baffles and the muffler have to be changed to scientifically get the exact same sound out as the Challenger. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours.
I wonder what the tips, like what options they offer also on the tips. Like I've always wanted to do the dual tips on the Hellcat.
Oh yeah. Have you?
So, yeah. I mean, I used to have the Mopar ones, but I wasn't too crazy about the Mopar ones on my last Challenger. They're kind of like a square type, rectangular type. I wasn't too crazy about those, but yeah. I can see myself doing something with the exhaust for sure.
I'm not a fan of the square exhaust that comes on the Challenger. Right now, I'm actually I can't even see the screen because I'm actually looking at GT-Hos's website. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the Challenger and I am going to save a picture and put it on the screen for you guys because I want you to see what GTOS's exhaust looks like. I don't think they have the tips that I'm getting, though, because the tips that are showing here are chrome. I'm getting black chrome again, like I did on the Durango. Because
black, and is the tip the same size, same shape, I mean, as the stock one, or is it the round ones?
It's the round ones, which I'm saving right now. Saving both images right now to, there we go, downloads. Okay, so we're good. I got them saved. I'm going to put those up on the screen right now, and then you guys will get a chance to see them. So here is the tips as viewed if you were standing beside the car. Let's see.
Hey, Dada.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. So those are the tips. Imagine those tips, though. Now, they're not the same size as the Durango. The Durango tips were 5 inches or 4.5 because there was only one. Those tips, if I'm not mistaken, are 3 or 3.5. There's 2 of them. And I think they look great. Black chrome looks even better. If you guys are wondering how it actually fits, I'll close this off. And I'll go ahead and I'll screen share the other one here so you guys can see it up on the lift. And that's how they fit the tips. So they fit in there nice and tight. That's Xander, get down, buddy. Don't yell into the microphone. So if you guys see right there, that's pretty much what the exhaust is going to look like on the Hellcat Redeye. I think it looks fantastic. The workmanship is just unbelievable.
Where is their electric flap? Is it on the tips? Is it inside the muffler? Where do they put it?
It's actually right about here where I got the mouse. It's actually somewhere in here.
Okay.
And they have 2 options for the flap. You can have it a button on the dashboard, which I think the owner of GTOS says that's outdated. I think they moved past it. I'm not 100% sure. The new way is the way that I had it on the Durango, which is an electronic button on the key fob, just like you'd lock or remote start your car.
Gotcha.
So you can fire it up in the morning with the flaps closed so you don't wake the dead, piss off your neighbors. And as you're driving down the road, you can pull out the GTOS flap or key, fob and open up the exhaust when you get on the highway. So I like it because you have full control over the volume. You can have it quiet in your neighborhood and loud on the highway, or loud all the time, quiet all the time, doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to do.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so it's really awesome. And if you look right here, all the way up, see the little welds right here, how perfect they look? Everything is literally like, I'm not paid by them to sell their exhaust or anything. It's just, they do such a fantastic job. And I just don't think they have enough recognition because of the fact they're priced, people run away. Someone might search Hellcat exhaust, find the website, realize it's expensive and leave, but they don't understand that, look at these welds. Look at the mufflers. Like the mufflers look like unbelievable. They look like fine china, like those silverware that you get that's like $500,000. Like you could almost eat off the mufflers. Like you could heat it up and cook on them. That's how clean they are. It's insane.
If you go to their Instagram page, like their pictures on there show you how nice the quality really is. Like they have some nice close-up shots of it.
Oh yeah, no, they've got some wicked cool pictures, and I think that their quality is worth it because it's not just what it looks like. There's other things that make it worth it. To me, I'm a very picky person with my exhaust. Exhaust is the #1 mod, in my opinion. A tune is just as important, but I have to have a car that sounds good. We all do. So with that, being said, it's got to be a good sounding exhaust. Nobody wants to have a muscle car that's extremely loud and sounds like dog shit, or it sounds like a bunch of, screaming and screeching. And raspiness. It's just not cool. So everybody's got their own taste in what they want, which is why there's hundreds of different companies that make exhausts. And, Flowmaster has a patent sound. Corsa has a patented sound. Their sound is Corsa. Nobody sounds like Corsa. You can almost tell a Corsa going down the road if you know anything about Mopar and you know about exhaust, and a Challenger Hellcat or Charger Hellcat goes down the road with a Corsa and another one with a Flowmaster. Being a car guy, I'm sure you could tell the difference between Corsa and Flowmaster.
Oh, definitely.
So,
but now with the tips, you mentioned black chrome, and I would love to do black chrome. This is exactly what I would do. But one thing that looks pretty cool, I don't know if you've ever seen this. Did you see when Street Speed 717 did the courses, and I think he did black chrome also, but after the exhaust gets so hot, you have like this really cool colors like on the tips. It almost gets like a slight rainbowish type colors on the tips from all the heat. It gives it a really nice look. Like he had that on, I don't remember which Corvette he had it on. He had so many already, but he had it on one of the ones he built. It looked really cool on the black chrome, and there was like slight bluish on the tips after it got heated up.
Yeah, I didn't notice mine doing that on the Durango. Then again, I only had the Durango for 2 months, and I had the Durango after the GTOS exhaust. I have to, now that we're on this topic, yeah, they're all patented. I agree. It's the design of the chamber, just like I designed a BMW muffler where I blocked out the chambers inside, but kept the padding so you didn't get drone. Drone comes from the resonance frequencies. I'm an audio engineer, so like that's why the microphone's pissing me off, and also the resonance frequencies inside the chamber of the exhaust. But very well said, Xander. But I only had my Durango for 2 weeks after I got back from GTOS. Now, a lot of people have asked me in detail, what's going on with the Durango. People have found my channel and subscribed and then realized I no longer had it. And it's just a question they ask of, why I don't have it. And you know what? I'm going to answer that question right now, but I realize my laptop's going to die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out of the room. I'm sorry, guys, for like maybe 10 seconds, just so I can plug my charger in, and we will literally continue. But while I'm stepping away, why don't you tell them about some upcoming videos you plan on doing? And I'm just going to plug in right quick.
See your subscribers in the meantime. Go ahead, take your time. What's up, guys? Yeah, if you guys didn't have any questions, go ahead, throw it in the chat below. I was actually just editing a video today, which will go live tomorrow. It has to do with the tune. Not sure if you guys caught it, but I did attempt to do a tune with the Diablo Trinity on my Hellcat, and it didn't go too well. So check it out. If you haven't checked out JMC Rides, check them out and subscribe. I have a new video dropping tomorrow on that. We'll see. We also got some mods planned for my Hellcat. I need to make sure my Hellcat, is faster than the Redeye. It'll be faster than Corey's Redeye temporarily until he mods his Redeye. Then I'll be screwed.
Okay, thanks for filling in and chatting with them. I had to get my charger. Sorry about that, guys. We're good to go. Okay, so yeah, if you guys got to check out JMC's channel, we're going to be doing some videos together. We're going to get into a question that I have for him in just a few minutes after I explain this, that everyone's been waiting to find out about. Especially, I got a subscriber called BT4B4. He's been wanting to know too, and there's quite a few people that have been wanting to know. So I'm gonna have questions for JMC here in just about a minute or so. So I'm gonna go over this. Now, I've talked to JMC on the phone and sort of briefly explained the Durango situation, and it's a really touchy subject. But, I figure we're well into a 40-minute live video here. So the people that are here are true supporters of my channel, and the average casual subscriber is not going to find this information 40 minutes deep in this video. So I don't want the casual subscriber to really know, but my true followers can sort of have an idea because they're obviously going to support me no matter what. So with that, basically, the Durango was my vehicle that I paid for with my wife, and she was basically, trading in her car so that I could have a Durango, and I would, help her make the payment. So basically we had ourselves a nice little deal where she'd pay the couple $100 she was paying for her car. I pay the difference, which was a lot. It was like $500. And I would get to use the Durango for the channel. We did that for you guys because I wanted to bring content to you guys, and I could have sold the Hellcat and done it, but the problem is that you guys didn't want the Hellcat to go. So I respected that, and I also liked the Hellcat. So what we did was we gave up another vehicle because I didn't want to have two, car loans. at one time, at least not at that point in time, because I lived in a different spot in New Jersey, which I talked to JMC about as well. And it's almost double the cost of living of where I'm at now. So now I could have 2-3 cars and no problem. Up there, or where JMC lives, having 2 or 3 cars is fucking impossible unless you're making good money. It's just too expensive to live. So my wife agreed we'd get it. And without getting into too many details, I got screwed over. And I'm sure you being a guy, if you're in here and you're a guy and you're watching and you're old enough to know how life goes, sometimes things don't go the way you planned. And sometimes people don't go the way you planned. So with that, I'm going to leave it at that. I got screwed beyond my will and beyond what I would like to expect or would have ever imagined. And the car had to go and I couldn't keep it. And I don't want to get into how, where, why, and when, because it's just dirty laundry. It doesn't need to be out there. But I really am sorry, guys, that I put out so much time and effort to building the channel around that car or that SUV, and that it got traded out before I could deliver on what I promised. And it's not something that I wanted to discuss, but let's just say I got royally fucked and I had to turn around and rebuild my channel based on the Integra, the Hellcat, now the Redeye. And I can promise you guys that the Redeye is going to be one hell of a ride. We're going to have a great time. It's not going anywhere. And we're gonna have a blast with the Redeye. And I'm thinking about getting another Durango. So maybe in 6 months, like Dan the Mopar man said, if we can get my subscriber count up, like I've kept my word. I said I would get a Duramax at 20,000. I got it at 15. I said I would get a Redeye at 25. I got it at 18.4. If we can get the subscriber count up to 75,000, I promise you I'll get another Durango SRT, and I will continue where I left off with the old one. As soon as we get to 75,000, I will get a Durango SRT, and I will keep the Redeye. So just know that. As far as the details, everybody says they want to know the details. Put one and one together. I made an agreement with my wife and she fucked me over. You can only imagine how that went. It didn't go over very well. It was not just a fuck over on the car. It was a fuck over in life. So we'll put it at that. Okay. I don't want to get too much into details over that, but I got screwed royally on a lot of shit. And I'm not the kind of guy that goes easy with getting screwed over. So I did what I had to do. And now we're back at full effect. So we got the Redeye coming, and I've told you guys a lot more than I even wanted to tell you, but I let you guys know that it was not my decision or my choice, and it was not something that I could have stopped. Basically, I'm going to, oh, I see a comment here. That's really cool. I don't want to take up the whole show here with that, but I do appreciate it, Social. Now you guys know what's going on, so with that, you know, I'm sure you guys can draw up your own conclusion. I'm sure you guys know where my life went after that. It was not pretty, but we got to do what we got to do. And I'm the kind of guy that doesn't look back, and I don't regret the decisions I make, and I just keep pushing forward. So that's what we're going to be doing. Is we got a channel here. I'm working with JMC and getting some good content with the Redeye. And if you guys would like to see the Durango SRT back on the channel, thank you for you know, the respect. I appreciate that, guys. If you guys love the channel and you really want to see the Durango, 75,000 is where I'll get the Durango back. You guys have my word. I will bring another Durango SRT back to the channel if you guys get me up to 75,000.
Quick question regarding the Durango.
Yeah.
Were you planning on doing performance mods on the Durango?
Yes, I planned on supercharging it. I also planned on building it. I even thought at one point or another about Hellcat swapping it. I just wanted to have the Durango SRT and be the first guy with mods on it. Like, I mean, I didn't know how YouTube would work for me. The reason I started YouTube is because, like I told you on the phone the other day, you know, my wife had said, hey, why are you doing YouTube with a car? I mean, you spend all your days working on your car. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So I started it. Well, you know, another thing too is I had a YouTube channel in 2009, and if I hadn't closed that YouTube channel right now, who knows, I could probably potentially have more viewers than Vehicle Virgins, because he didn't start till 2011. My original YouTube channel, which is still active today, was 2009. So, and it has car videos of my old Mustang on there. So I've been doing the YouTube thing for 10 years. I just took a big hiatus in between, and I shouldn't have done that. But I do have a lot of plans for did have a lot of plans for the Durango SRT. I wanted to do like a lot of shit. And anybody who followed me, even you, JMC, I'm not sure if you did or not, or if any of the other YouTubers that were out there before I came along last year noticed, but I got a very seriously huge jump in subscribers when I got the Durango. I was getting 300 or 400 subscribers a day for like a month.
I had no idea that Durango had such a big following like that.
Oh my God. One night I went to bed and I only had 1,800 subscribers. You got to kind of put it into a per capita of how many subscribers per size. I went to bed with 2,700 subscribers or 2,600. And I woke up and I had 3,100.
That's awesome.
Now, that's like you, JMC, going to bed at 37,800 and waking up at 41,000. I think you'd fall out of your chair. I think, yeah, if you got 4,000 overnight, you'd probably freak when you woke up. So that's the same thing. And I woke up and was like, wait a minute, there's got to be a problem with YouTube. I literally thought there was a problem. I was like, is this real? I went from 2,600 or 2,700, like 400 subscribers in one night. It's like 380. And I was like, this can't be real. It can't. This is too good to be true. And it was true. And then a week later, I checked my subscriber count and I was at 5,000. And then only a month later in Chicago, I was at 8,000. So I went from 2,300 to 8,000 in 2 months. It was, awesome. Yeah, I was like, I just didn't know what to say. I was just starstruck. I still don't even know what to say. It was unbelievable. It was one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life. I look back and I just couldn't believe, how much support I had. Everybody in this chat right now that's watching this video, and there's probably been a total of 150 people in here in the last, half hour. Every one of them came from the Durango, mostly. Majority of them came from the Durango, and they stuck with me the whole way. And that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to get it back. Myself, mostly, but the fans were taken for a journey, and we were, with the lack of better terminology, we were both, all of us together, royally shafted from being able to see the Durango SRT. We were all shafted. Everybody who follows me right now in this chat, we were all screwed at the same time from being able to see the Durango. And I've done some things in my life over the past 10 months that have pretty much made it so that I'm able to talk about this now without having to worry as much, because I've had my reasons why I can't discuss these kinds of things, but now I can. And we were all screwed together. We really were. And I'd like to get it back. So, like I said, we're going to move on to JMC now and some questions I have for him. He's joined in to do a live video. We're going to do a lot more live videos together, hopefully. I'd love to.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on from the Durango. But like I said, with that aside, if you guys can share my Durango videos, my channel, and help me grow my channel to 75,000, I promise you guys I'll look into getting another Durango, and we'll do this once again, and it'll be really awesome.
I have a feeling you should see a spike on subscribers as soon as you take delivery of that Redeye, though.
Yeah, it's projected that when I get the Redeye, a lot of people are saying, based on how things went for the Durango and how things go in these kind of situations anyway, they're saying, a lot of people are saying that I will probably see a 15 to 20,000 subscriber increase within the first month, maybe two. So if I get my subscriber count to 50,000 by New Year's, I'll do a really big giveaway, and we'll only be 25,000 away from getting the SRT Durango. And that's what I really want to do. I want to be a guy of my word on YouTube, and I feel like I've done the things I said I was going to do, and I want to bring some really good content to the guys, just like you do, which is what we're going to get into now, which is the topic at hand. So yeah, guys, remember, share JMC's channel, subscribe, share my channel, subscribe. I'm sure if JMC hits 100,000, he'll do something probably pretty damn good too.
Trust me, I'll add new cars to the channel for sure. No question about it.
Maybe we should make a bet here. Check this out. Okay. What do you think for a safe bet, man? Like, my bet is if I get to 75,000 and my view count stays up, I'll get a Durango SRT. If we get you to 75,000, what do you want to do? No pressure if you don't want to discuss it, but like
depending on when this happened, because ever since I've been watching your videos about the wide body Charger and possibly the Hellephant going into one of these cars.
Yeah.
I would definitely get one of those. No question for the channel.
Redeye?
If they come out with the wide body, like
the Charger
with with the 426 supercharged, I'd be all over that right away.
Yeah. Sure. I agree. And someone just said, hey, get the Charger instead of the Durango. And you know, I would, if all my Durango subscribers and everybody else on my channel said, hey, forget about the Durango, get the new Charger, I would do that. I just want to try to, you know, get the stuff I promised on the Durango, and it's unfinished business. I might be able to get a used one for 50,000. So when you got 75,000 or 100,000 subscribers and you got a lot of views, a $500 car payment's nothing. So,
it's not.
So if I can get 75,000, I got no problem, guys, getting another Durango. We'll do it again, or we'll wait for the Charge. It doesn't matter. Whatever you guys want to see. And of course,
once you get that subscriber count, guys, trust me, both channels will start adding, you know, we'll start swapping out cars because we'll have more money to play with, and we could swap out the cars, bigger mods, and it's just going to be better content.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, I mean, maybe if we were to say hit 100,000 together, like somewhere between spring and summer, 100,000, we could probably put together a car show and like a giveaway and work on something. No guarantees or promises yet, guys, but at 100,000, we could definitely do something. And the more subscribers we have and the more views we have, that's how it works. And that's what the topic is at hand. You know, is first question to JMC here. Is YouTube as a career? We know it's hard. It's not easy. And with those facts being pointed out that it's a very hard career, what are your thoughts, and how did you get started, and how are you liking YouTube so far?
All right. So I started YouTube back in around, I think it was around 2010. And what most people don't realize is, yes, I call the channel JMC Rides, but if you go to youtube.com/2010 SVT Raptor, I started the channel with the Ford Raptor. Back in 2010, it had the 6.2 liter. And I literally just uploaded a video because my coworkers wanted to see what the heck I was doing on the weekends. I was always doing stupid stuff, and I would take the Raptor and jump it, and then at the beach and driving like 70, 80 miles an hour down the sand, jumping it in the air, doing really stupid stuff. All of a sudden, it started pulling in crazy views. And back then, I actually received an email from YouTube to do like a partnership type of thing, and that's how I started. But like I said, back then, I never thought of YouTube as a money-making type of job, a career. And literally, it was just for fun. And I would upload videos once every couple of months. If I would have been consistent since 2010, because this is the thing, because I don't know if you'd watch these other channels, Corey, like Creator Insider, or there's a bunch of different guys that give you a lot of tips. And there were so many people that started YouTube back then, and there was like all these little tricks and cheats. I'm talking about, for example, when you upload a video to YouTube, people used to put the file name. Like in the file name, they would use their file name as a tag. And there was like all these little cheating ways where people were just growing. But YouTube over the years has gotten so smart that all that stuff does not work anymore. None of that stuff works anymore. And I mean, YouTube is great. And I mean, I would love to grow the channel, but it's tough. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, running a YouTube channel. It costs a lot of money, which I think viewers don't realize this. Viewers don't realize how much money it costs to run a YouTube channel. You have a lot of camera gear. I mean, if you look behind me, you'll see there's one laptop there. I've got another one here. All these screens, this is for editing. Like that's the MacBook that I'm running is like the fastest MacBook that Apple even sells, because I used to run on a cheaper laptop. And when I was editing videos for YouTube, thing would, it was just very slow, and it was a real pain. So you have to have the right gear to do it. But I mean, I don't know. It's almost like hitting the lottery. Sometimes you see some channels that just blow up overnight, but you never know. I don't know. It's just it really just depends. I mean, if you get lucky and if you get into a car chase and you got the police chasing you on the highway, you'll blow up overnight, but then you'll be in jail.
Right. And
That's a really good point you made too about the hard work that you have to put in, and there's no control over how YouTube pushes you. So what happens is YouTube picks and chooses who gets pushed, and the only way to get pushed is to have rank, and the only way to have rank is to have views, and the only way to have views is to have rank. So you get in this position where the only way you really get yourself going is to ride a low ranked channel until you get pushed with one good video, and that you have to ride that one good video. It's very hard to do YouTube as a career for the smaller guys. And, you know, you're right. Sometimes there were some cheats out there that probably got a lot of the subscribers where they are, channels where they are with their subscribers. I'm not going to put any names out there, but I know of many of them who either had a lot of help or a lot of money to get it started. You know, and a lot of people, there's a lot of people that think that all of them are like that when they're not. For example, there's a lot of people that have said things about Mike, and I'm not going to get into that right now, but I know Mike very well, and he's a really good guy, and he put in a lot of work into his channel. And you know, I had a guy email me one time and say something that I'm not going to repeat over my channel because it was ludicrous. And I'm just going to, you know, put it out there for the record that I know Mike fairly well, and he's worked his fucking ass off to get his channel where it is right now. You know, sometimes you get a lucky break here or there. He hit some good lucky breaks going through posting. He had Doug DeMuro do a video with him, stuff like that. But
I was just going to mention that Doug DeMuro video helped a lot, because I don't know if you saw it, but Doug DeMuro almost crashed his Hellcat. Right. And Doug DeMuro is a huge channel, so that was like the best thing in the world that could have happened.
Yeah, yeah. No, he definitely, that was really great. And sometimes you're in the right place at the right time. And I guess you could say his Doug DeMuro experience was almost like me buying the Durango. I mean, I was a very small channel, and I should have never blew up as fast as I did, but the Durango blew me up like crazy because it was the newest car and I happened to be buying one. Yeah. But there are some guys out there, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some guys out there that have paid their way to YouTube success. And it's a money game. It really is. It's a very big game of money, and it takes money to make money. And what I mean by that is, if I had access to a millionaire who'd be willing to give me $200,000, I could advertise my channel on Google AdWords, which would put my channel's ads, which I run once in a while, but not really. A couple times I have. Everybody's done. I'm sure JMC's put a Google. You know, everybody does it once in a while, and it's not really cheating. It's the real way of doing it. You're paying your dues to YouTube to bump you through.
It's a business. At the end of the day, people need to understand. And I've had viewers complain about this in the comment section, saying, "Oh, you know, you're trying to make money off of YouTube." But you know what? At the end of the day, when you film a video, that takes a few hours. Editing a video is another 4 hours easy. So, you know, viewers shouldn't be. Of course, we want to get paid. You know, we could be, each video could easily have like 8-10 hours into it. So, you know, like, why would you want to, you know, be spending 8 to 10 hours on making a video and not get paid for it? You could be spending time with your family, you know, and people that don't do this full time, you know, they're doing this on their spare time where normally they would be spending it with their kids, their family, that kind of thing. So I look at it as, you know, this is like my dream job. YouTube is a dream job. Like, I've always been a car guy personally. So I like the cars you see that I have. I would have these cars even before YouTube, because before YouTube existed, I always had cool cars. The only difference is that now I'm filming all the crazy stuff that I do. But this is like a dream job. I mean, if you could literally wake up every day and just do car stuff, modding your cars, I mean, that's the sickest job ever.
Well, very well said. And I agree 100%. And what it really boils down to is it's a job, and people have to understand that, you know, we want to make money doing our job, and money is important, but the love that I have for cars, the love you have for cars is definitely there, because like you said, before YouTube, you were doing it. I started YouTube last year, and I've been building cars. Nothing about my personality or who I am right now has changed. The only difference that's changed about me right now than I was 6 years ago is I'm filming. Before I got my Hellcat, I had a Durango RT that had over 400 horsepower. And before that RT, I had a 585 wheel horsepower GT500. Before that, I had a 400 wheel horsepower all-wheel drive BMW. I had a blob-eye Subaru WRX with 400 horsepower. I had 2 or 3 RSXs. One was supercharged, one was turbo, one was NA. I got a Type R right now. I love cars so much that that's all I do. Guys, when I'm not filming a YouTube video, it's the honest to God truth. I watch other YouTubers' videos.
Oh, cool.
When I'm editing my videos, sometimes JMC's videos come on. Sometimes Mike at Street Speed. Sometimes I'll be watching and Parker will come on. Sometimes another guy that I love to watch, and I'll put him out there because I think he's a badass channel and cool dude. And his name's Rhino, D-Max Rhino. His name's Ryan. And I think his videos are downright entertaining, and the guy is a really smart, hardworking guy. And if you're into trucks, I think he's got the best truck channel on YouTube. I think that D-Max Rhino is awesome. Have you seen him, JMC?
No, I haven't heard of him.
Yeah, D-M-A-X, D-Max Rhino. He was in a major car accident last year and walked away, no issues. The guy hit him. I'm not going to get involved in that, but I found that video and started watching him. And D-Max has fucking awesome videos. I don't want to swear, but I have to because it's like the guy is just great. Go watch his channel. I think you'll love it. But I support other YouTubers. I don't have beef with anybody on YouTube. I refuse to. I try not to do that whole mess, although some people have beef with me, and that's totally fine. But, you know, I just do this because I love it. It's a great community. Everybody loves to watch YouTube videos, and I support the community when I'm editing my YouTube videos for that 2 or 3 hours a day, every day of the week, like a full-time job. I'm watching other YouTubers' videos, and I let it play through. And I try to support everybody equally, and I let it play through and just let everybody get their, you know, their views in. And I support everybody else because it's a community of creators, and we don't create the exact same content. I have a Hellcat and JMC has a Hellcat, but it doesn't mean our content's going to be the same. So it would make no sense not to support him because, you know, we're not the same. We're different personalities. We don't want YouTube creation to become a cesspool of immature antics like the movie industry, where you've got, for example, I'm not saying this happened, where Johnny Depp talks shit about Denzel Washington because they want to outdo one another and they're screwing each other's women. This is not what this is. We don't want that. I don't want that to happen. This is a bunch of car guys creating content. It's a business. And when you watch JMC's channel or you watch my channel, it's like you're watching a TV show. It's like JMC is, I don't know, I got to come up with a really cool TV show. He's the Simpsons, okay? And I'm like Family Guy. Not one or the other is better. You're going to have people that say one's better than the other, but in reality, they're not really competition for one another because they're both extremely successful and lucrative shows that have made millions and millions of dollars. They're both good in their own way. And you know, the honest to God truth is people who like Family Guy better still watch Simpsons when they're bored. And Simpsons guys still watch Family Guy when they're bored because they're both awesome. And that's exactly what's going on here with JMC and myself and other YouTubers, is that we want you to subscribe to me, watch my videos so I make good content, make money to make more content. But we want you to go over to JMC's channel, subscribe to him, and watch his content. When my content's over and there's none left to watch all JMC's content.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. But, you know, it's like different flavors also because, like you said, we both have Hellcats.
Yeah.
You got a Duramax. I got a Rubicon. And that's another thing that I want to do with you. I definitely want to get together with you to do an off-road video to see how the Duramax does off-road, and I'll bring my Jeep down to you.
Yep, 100%. We're going to do an off-road video together, and we got to get down here in the next couple weeks together. We'll pick out a time because we got to get the Duramax and the Rubicon out there. You should check out another video I'm posting about a guy who's got a Jeep. As a side note, he calls it the Murdercon. It's a murdered Rubicon Turbo. It's really fucking sick. But we definitely got to do some off-road vehicles together. And like JMC said, I got another question for him. We're moving along. I know we got dragged out on the income portion of YouTube, and it's a business. But you have to understand that in the event that, you know, JMC and I don't make enough money to keep doing this, we're still going to have cars. We're still going to have videos, but it's not going to be to the level that we want it to be. I got little ones to take care of. So if I can make enough money on YouTube to pay their bills and buy cars, I'll spend my whole life entertaining you guys. But that brings us to the next question. With every job comes a negative and a positive. There's going to be positive, negatives everywhere. And while YouTube's got lots of money and lots of positives, what are some of the hurdles you faced, JMC, in YouTube, whether it be drama related with other YouTubers or events or just in general negatives that have maybe got you down and made you question your decision to do YouTube?
Well, it's kind of like what you were talking about before, where you might have like, you have like famous movie stars are kind of fighting and they're cutting each other's throats pretty much. But one thing that I definitely notice, and it happens all the time, it boils down to greed. Sometimes you see these other channels, and instead of collaborating with some of these other channels and just making great content, they fall off track because of greed, and it just boils down to greed. And people start acting very fake. I see people. I'm not mentioning names, but I see people that have YouTube channels, car channels, and I can tell they're not real car guys. Right. They just have other intentions, and they're trying to get rich using this avenue, but they're not real car guys.
Yep.
And a lot of these other YouTubers, the viewers don't know it. There's a whole different side to the whole YouTube game. Meaning, for example, a lot of these guys are watching their favorite YouTubers. And a lot of these people seem to be pretty cool. But when you're on our side and you're a YouTube creator and you're trying to collab with these people, sometimes you guys don't see all the negative stuff that happens. I mean, these people, a lot of these people act completely different when they're off camera compared to when they're on camera. On camera, everybody's like really nice, really cool.
Yeah.
Once the cameras are off, it's a completely different story. It's a completely different story.
Hey, don't stop interrupting. But I agree. And to touch base on that, there's a lot of guys out there, that are not car guys. They're really not. And they're there to get rich. And I'm going to tell you guys, we're not, it's hard to say that, we know everybody on YouTube, because we don't. I've only met like maybe 1% of the YouTube community as far as cars. And I can say that there are guys out there that I haven't met that I can tell just by watching their videos, they have no interest in cars and they're doing it for the money. Yeah. And obviously people are going to say, well, of course you are going to say you're not that guy. I mean, yeah, but I'm not. And the thing is that if YouTube doesn't make it, I'm going to spend all my money, all my spare money on cars anyway. With or without YouTube, I'm always going to have 3 or 4 muscle cars in the driveway, imports. To be honest, I have an unhealthy obsession with cars and racing. In fact, I like cars more than I like money. If my subscriber count got to 1 million subscribers and I was collecting $50,000 checks every month, I'd be broke. I would have nothing but 20 cars in the driveway and have no money, because as much as I like money like anybody else does, cars are the best part of my life besides my kids. My kids are most important, but there's no way that I could ever not have hot cars or race cars. That's my whole life. So
I mean, that's the thing. Is like a lot of people don't even realize, like, I've had a whole list of cars that YouTube doesn't even know that I have. Like, I still have my first car, which I got to make a video about, that I have at my dad's house. And, people have no idea, but true car guys have been going through this whole car game since they were a kid.
Yep.
Since they were a kid, they had all these cars. But the drama between these channels, especially out here in the Northeast, there really isn't that many car YouTubers that I know of. There isn't that. And there's a lot of nonsense that happens in the background that our viewers have no idea, but
Yeah, and here's the sad part that upsets me, is that all these guys that are watching YouTube, they dedicate their free time at night to watch YouTube and to watch car, vloggers and people who do like content like us. And what's going to happen is you watch them, support them, and then in 5 years from now, when they're filthy rich, they close up shop and they take their millions and they go buy personalized cars and they go hide away in some other country, or they just do their own thing and give up on YouTube completely, or they're just posting shitty content. I mean, real shitty content, just so you'll keep watching. And you basically, viewers, Xander, can you stop? Hey, relax. I'm trying to vlog here. Stop. Sit down. Sorry about that, guys. He just wants to be in the camera and he's knocking the mic over. In any case, viewers got to be careful, because guys like me and JMC can't survive without your support. So if we don't get enough support and the bigger guys keep getting bigger, eventually we're going to disappear. And then the big guys are going to not give a crap. And you guys will have basically fed the demon, so to speak. And, you know, the wrong side of the fence.
The bigger guys will disappear also. I mean, a lot of these other guys, all they're doing is just accumulating wealth. Then they just invest that money and they don't need YouTube anymore. And they're, you know, they're gone.
Would you get down? Sit down, and you're going. Sit down. Sit down. Stop. Okay. My son just really wants to do faces in the camera.
Doing it soon.
Hey, tell everybody in here right now before I go to the next question. I want you to tell everybody. Look at the camera, Xander. Now you won't even look at the camera. Look and tell everybody, what does Daddy drive? No, I drive a no. What is it? What kind of car is a no? Tell them. Tell him, Hellcat. Tell him. Okay, he doesn't want. He's shy now. He's being shy, but he wasn't shy this whole last 10 minutes. But my son is a car guy too, and he loves cars like I do, and I'm bringing him up to love cars. You know, it's a passion that guys like us have, which brings us to the next, the next question, which is, when you wake up in the morning, do you feel alive, enthused, and energized to see your cars in the driveway and know you're starting a new day where you can film more content and stop knocking the microphone over there and enjoy making that car content?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you should. I have like a little bit of a sickness. Like my car is in my garage. Like the Hellcat, I keep it in the garage. And as I'm going into the kitchen, there's a door that I can open and I can look at the car. Almost every time I go to the kitchen, I open the door just to see my Hellcat.
I did.
My wife thinks I'm crazy.
No, that's a car guy. When I wake up in the morning, there's even times like when I get off this vlog, I'll walk by my living room and I'll flick the curtain open to look out and I see the Duramax just sitting there, and it just makes the Hellcat look like a Prius or a tiny little car. And I just look at it and I'm like, it's such a beastly truck. And my brother or, my mom or whoever happens to be here and sees it, they're like, why do you stare at it? They just don't understand. Oh, Xander, come on, buddy. You just knocked over the microphone again. Jeez. He's really going to town. But yeah, no, I just walk by and I love it. I absolutely love it. Hold on, Xander. He knocked my microphone over. So if you can't hear me, it's because it's like no longer close enough to my mouth. Stop touching. He totally wants to be involved in this whole process. I'll tell you what. Take it easy, buddy.
One thing that I'm actually very excited about, my buddy Mike from MDG Collections on YouTube, he also has a Mopar channel. He actually just informed me about this today. So you know about that YouTube membership? It's kind of like where you sponsor a channel. It lets viewers. So that used to be, I think, for like 100,000. You had to have 100,000 subscribers, and then I think it went down to 50,000. Oh. So he told me that recently it changed again. And now it's available to people that have 30,000 subscribers. Now I have over 30. It's awesome. So I have over 30,000 subscribers, but I just checked and I still don't have that feature turned on. So I'm hoping this is something that YouTube turns on, because it basically allows viewers to, I mean, I don't have it yet, so I don't know exactly how it works, but it basically lets viewers either send like $4.99 or $5 a month to kind of support your favorite YouTube channels, similar to how Twitch does. People do that, have been doing that on Twitch for a while.
Yeah. Like Patreon account, where you can pay $1 a month or $2 a month, and YouTube's doing it too. And that basically supports us. And this is the one thing I've never understood about, and when I say this, I don't mean everybody. I just mean those type of people. I've had certain people that have, messaged me, and there's been very few, but they're out there, and they'll say, hey, why do you want subscribers so bad? Why you care that people are going to support the channel? Like, if you have to ask that question, you really don't understand YouTube, and you really don't understand it's a business. And the fact is that of course we need support. It's not like we're asking people to buy our cars for us. Now, if we were sitting around just saying, hey, give us $5 a month so that we can just have fun in our life. No, what's going on is you're supporting a channel that you like. Not only a channel, a show. It's a brand. It's what you support. And it's more personalized than TV, because what you can do is you can support a channel that's putting out videos that you specifically like the most. So whereas TV, back in the day, we'd watch Velocity and we watch these car shows. Have you ever heard of a car show called Car Warriors? Have anybody ever seen that? Car Warriors on Speed TV back in 2010, 11, and 12. They'd have two teams battle it out with the same car, and they would battle it out, and they would build those cars in 48 hours with no sleep. And the individuals that built it fastest got to keep their car, and the loser had to give it back to the TV show. These are cars or car shows that people loved, but then it got to a point where some people were like, yeah, I like the show, but I didn't like the Chevelle they built. I'm more of a Ford guy. I want to see Mustangs. Well, now you've got that opportunity. We're at a pinnacle in entertainment where people can watch something they enjoy and they can relate to and not have to worry about watching garbage they don't like commercials. A lot of commercials, way more than the YouTube ads. YouTube ads are 10 seconds, whereas commercials are 2-3 minutes. And the YouTube ads relate to the viewer. So you get to watch a commercial you don't mind as much. We make money from it to provide content they love. So now they're watching a show they love with minimized ads versus watching TV where they spend an hour in front of the tube watching 5 minutes of what they like and 55 minutes of garbage. Now they have full control over to actually watch what they love the most. And there's probably a ton of people out there that would rather watch you than watch me because you fit their style more. And then I've got people that would probably rather watch me. It really depends on the person watching. And we're in a day and age where everybody has the opportunity to be themselves on YouTube.
Your volume just went down.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, yeah. That's the cable. Hold on. There we go. Better? It's still bad. How about that?
It's okay.
There we go. It's the microphone wire. It is. It just shorts out on its own. But we're at a time, like I said, where we are our own channel. I remember these two guys got a show on Velocity, and it was called Car Fix. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's called Car Fix. It was from 2012 through 15. They might still have the show. And they did a lot of work to get on that show. And they make okay money, I would assume. But now we're at a point in life where you and I can do the same thing and be our own brand. And I really appreciate that, Vanessa. Maybe YouTube Red will hook me up with a show eventually. Who knows? Maybe JMC will have a YouTube Red channel. I mean, a Red is where they pay you to do a weekly episode. I mean, if Jake Paul and Logan Paul can get a TV show, and I mean, I'm not even going to get into this ridiculousness, but they can get one. There's no reason why Parker, Street Speed, myself, or JMC couldn't have one. But we do appreciate the support. And that's another thing. That's the next question is, how hard has it been for you to get where you're at now? And do you feel that it's still exciting every day?
YouTube, I mean, I don't even watch TV, first of all. Okay. I watch YouTube. Like, I'm always on YouTube. And even if I'm like having my dinner, just got YouTube streaming from my phone to my flat screen. This is what I do. And I mean, to me, it's very exciting. It's a very exciting, especially when you see progress. Now, I'll give you an example. When you put 7-8 hours into a video and then YouTube doesn't feel like, sharing your video because you're at the mercy of YouTube. That's what I don't like about YouTube itself.
Yep.
And I wish other platforms, more platforms were available and compete with YouTube for that reason, because you're at the mercy of YouTube. And if YouTube simply just doesn't feel like sharing out your content, or they're doing things like, like just weird things in the background, you just wasted 8 hours making a video that it's not going to get any views. And like I said, that video is going to cost money to make. I mean, you're going to go out, do some burnouts, possibly get pulled over by the cops. Like I'm always on that line of trying to be careful, not getting arrested, but trying to have exciting stuff for the viewers.
Right. Yeah, that's the hardest part. And for me too. And what it is YouTube likes to push trending topics, which will be our next question. But trending topics is the problem with YouTube. And what that means is if you put out a video for, let's say, I don't know, a Hellcat burning out, and you do like this wicked burnout where you like melt the tires right off the wheels. You might get from your subscribers, it's going to help boost you. But let's say you get 15,000 views on that video And then a month later, you're still at 16,000. It's not getting any views. And then let's just say Mike at Street Speed buys a Hellcat, and he's got 1 million subscribers now. Then he buys a Hellcat, burns up the tires, melts them right off the wheels, and gets 800,000 views because he's got 1 million subscribers. And he tags it Hellcat melts tires off wheels. It's immediately going to expose your video everywhere. You're going to go 20,000, 30,000 in the first few days. Now you're going to start getting a jump in your videos, and now you're all over the map because YouTube works off of a views per hour system. And what that means is if someone else is getting 1,000 views per hour and their keywords match yours, every time that video shows, you're getting recommended. So your views go up. And then every time someone that's got less subscribers than you has that video, they're feeding off your video. And the moment the video that's feeding you gets weak, your views go back down. Now, that is the algorithm that YouTube uses. And I figured that out when I did a Durango RT video, a review, and I only had like 15,000 views on this video. I can't remember the exact amount, so I don't want to like quote and say exactly where it was. It was like 15 or 17, something like that. Tall Guy Car Reviews put out a Durango RT review, and I picked up 10,000 views in a week. Not even like, it was like 5 days, 10,000 views because he put out that video. And when I went into my analytics, I realized that it was showing on his channel, and then his kind of took a nosedive. People stopped watching it. So did mine. Then someone else posted a Durango RT review, and it skyrocketed. Now that video's got 90,000 views or 80,000 and some change. And then there's popularity. It's not about trending topics. It's about something that somebody absolutely cannot resist watching. For example, I put out a video called Hellcat 1500 Ram Pickup is Coming. And that video, I've only got 18,000 subscribers, and that video has 155,000 views in 10 months because it picked up. And it's what I like to call snowball traction. You start off with a little snowball and you start to roll it, and you got a ginormous ball once you keep rolling it. And the key with traction is once you stop, you lose it. So because I posted that video and I posted a few videos afterwards, it gained a little bit of traction and people shared it. And as they watched it, it kept the popularity up. YouTube has an algorithm where if you have a certain amount of views in the first hour, they put you in a tier. And if you do well in the first hour, I think it's 500 views minimum in the first hour of you posting a video, you make it to a tier. And your second tier is another hour. And if you beat your first tier, you get boosted back, which is why guys like Mike at Street Speed can post a video and have 200,000 views in a couple hours because YouTube realizes, oh, you're up here, you're doing well, we'll push you again. But even they are hurting for views at certain points in time because YouTube has a master algorithm beyond that. And what it does is it looks to see how your video did in the first month. If you've got 1 million subscribers, but you only have 500,000 views, you're not getting pushed, which is why some of Vehicle Virgins and TJ Hunt's videos don't even have the amount of subscribers in views because YouTube sees, okay, well, you got 700,000 views, but you have 700,000 subscribers. So you're not even 1-to-1. They get pushed in a tier, which is still a good tier, believe it or not. But when they see a guy like you who's only got 37,000 or only 37,000, which is just double what I have, for the record, you get a video that does 25,000 views. In YouTube's eye, you did better because even though someone got 500,000, they got 1 million subscribers. They're at 50%, whereas you're at like 75%. So you at the end of the month get beyond the tier they are, but it's a tier that's suited for your viewing size. So you may not get 1 million views in that video, but you might start picking up 50 subscribers a day extra. That may not seem like a lot, but 50 subs a day extra for a 30,000 channel is a lot. That'd be like Mike getting 1,000 a day, which, he's not at this point in time. So YouTube is very ridiculous.
It never used to be this way. That's the thing. It's like back in the day, people would get, you could just make a good video. Like this is what I'm going to give you an example of something that I find very annoying. So I have videos that, that I actually know that it's a really good video. It's like you go out and it's all racing, burnouts. It's a kind of video that should blow up. And sometimes it doesn't. But the other day, did you happen to notice when YouTube crashed and they went down for a few hours.
Yep.
So when YouTube crashed, I was like, you know what? Let me just do a simple test just to see. I made a really stupid video just talking about, oh yeah, YouTube crashed. And I was talking about it's probably like some hackers or whatever. Small video, just a few minutes long. That video, I think I got like 16 or 17,000 views in like 2 days. It's crazy. Yep. Just because, you know, that's what everybody's kind of looking for. And there's channels that pretty much are very successful. And all they literally do is if, like, you know, Kanye West gets hit by a car, well, I'm going to go home and make a video talking about Kanye West getting hit by a car, and they're going to pull in views. But sometimes it's like a stupid channel. You know, it's a dumb channel, and it's just you're pulling in views, but stupid content.
Yeah, I agree. And
have you considered though something else? Like I've heard people doing this, and I saw Casey Neistat did this. Have you on Twitch? I know it's a gaming site, but they have something called IRL, which is in real life, and people like us are vlogging on Twitch, and they're making money now.
I never heard of that. I was going to start a Twitch channel before I started this YouTube channel because I'm a diehard gamer. Everybody who watches my channel, if you don't already know that, I love games almost as much as cars. And I love to play Overwatch and Battlefield and Fallout and all the good stuff. So I actually was going to do a Twitch gaming channel. And if I ever had to do a second YouTube channel, or another channel because the automotive industry crashes, which it's not going to, but you know, just hypothetically, it would be photography / game channel. I would do another game channel and continue on with my photography channel. But I would do games. I've heard of Twitch, and I was thinking about it. I didn't know they had the IRL in real life. I heard of the abbreviation about a week ago on a TV show. I thought it was pretty funny. I was actually watching Supernatural, which is one of my favorite TV shows, and they actually said IRL in it. And funny because Jared Padalecki, who plays Sam, he was like IRL, and Dean was like, "What the hell does that even mean?" And I was like, "What is IRL?" And then Sam was like, "In real life." So last week was the first time. I know I'm old, guys. Don't make fun of me. The last week is the first time I've ever heard of the word IRL or the.
People are blowing up. Your audio is going out again. But people have been blowing up on that IRL. And I actually had a crazy idea because, I mean, I used to play games also. And the only reason why I don't play games now is because YouTube. There's an echo.
Oh, is there? Hold on. Is that better?
All right, let's see. I'll talk. So what I was saying before was I used to play games. You know, I always used to play race car games and stuff like that. And I stopped playing games because, you know, now you have a day job and YouTube is what I do in the spare time. But if I could play video games and get paid to do that too, I would definitely do it. I was even thinking, how cool would it be if I had like a Twitch channel, right?
All right.
You know how we have, well, actually, I already have a Twitch channel. I just haven't done any gaming on it yet. And if anybody has Twitch, check me out. It's just JMC Rides on Twitch. So imagine having, you know how we have all these trolls that always talk all this crap in our comment section?
Yeah.
So imagine like, you know, going on Twitch and you invite everybody, your subscribers, the trolls, and all these guys that are talking all this crap. You play a game like Grand Theft Auto and you could just take a baseball bat to their head, run people over, and you're like playing with all these people that are trolling you, and you have fun. You have fun and generate more content on Twitch now. Get paid.
I agree, 100%. If I could make the same money I'm making with cars, I would never give up the car channel. So first, never. I would continue to do this full time, but I'd also put some gaming stuff in there. I'm an avid gamer, and like I said, I love Resident Evil, just like Frost said. I like Fallout series. In fact, currently, right now, I'm working on some other classic games. I'm playing Command & Conquer: Red Alert. I also like what's that new one my brother's playing? The Call of Duty, the new one, Black Ops 4. He's playing this mode that almost to a degree resembles Fortnite. It's kind of like this really weird mode where you can run around. Call of Duty's never seen that before. And so we're messing around with that. But I'm a big Battlefield fan. If there's anybody in the channel right now watching games who wants to play with me on PS4, I don't play a lot right now, like maybe once or twice a week. But if you guys are definitely into playing PlayStation 4, hit me up on Instagram and message me there and let me know you play PlayStation 4. And I'd be glad to add you and play some Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1 with you guys, because I absolutely love playing games. Wouldn't mind playing with some of my subscribers. And now that we've got that plug out of the way. But no, I mean, seriously, even though there's no money involved in gaming, I would never give up gaming. I absolutely love it. Games, photo, video, and cars.
You don't do any of the car games?
I do play racing games. I liked Forza 5, and Forza 4 were both great. I love them. I like Gran Turismo. The thing is that I find that I love cars so much that if I play too many car games, not only do they not meet my expectations of reality, I find it quite amusing when you can build an Evo to go as fast as, you know, a Hellcat for the same money. It doesn't make any sense, but, you know, it's fun, but it's the reality thing. And not only that, I feel like I don't want to make myself sick of cars because I drag race them all day and build them and vlog them and film them, that if I...
So I'm probably sicker than you, because my nephew, he came over a few weeks ago and we were playing, I think he had the latest Forza. And in this Forza game, we basically made a copy of my Hellcat. Same thing. I think it even had the license plates and everything. Like, it was just an exact copy of my Hellcat. And we were just like having so much fun. I was having a blast. And I was thinking, imagine if I made a copy of my wide body Hellcat on Forza and I'm racing other people, do it on Twitch. Now, the thing with me is when I play these racing games, I don't get sick of it. What ends up happening is once I get sick of the game, I have like the biggest craving to just go in the garage and get in my Hellcat and then try and drive like a maniac. Same thing.
Bro, I'm with you. Okay, a little story. Here's a little backstory. I'll keep it under 30 seconds if I can help it. So I watched the Fast and the Furious when it first came out. I was 17 years old when it came out. And then the second one came out in the theater, Too Fast, Too Furious. I first saw Too Fast, Too Furious, and I had a Honda Civic, a little single cam, 120 horsepower Civic, but it had everything on it, even a turbo. And it was probably making 250 horsepower. For what it was, that's pretty quick. So we leave the movies and we get in the car. My brother and I, Cody, who's here, you know, everyone sees my brother in my videos. We left the movie theater and I was just romping that Civic down the highway doing like 100 miles an hour. And then we went back and saw it again and again and again. I think I saw Too Fast, Too Furious in the theater. I'm not lying. It had to be at least 4 times, maybe 5 times. Like it got to the point where I'd watch the movie. I'd go out and I'd act like a fool and do burnouts and get pulled over and get speeding tickets, which, by the way, I had 27 of them in 4 years. Wow. And I'm a speed demon. I've been doing what I'm doing on YouTube now for 19 years. And I've been in the same position. I watched the movie, and even to this day, I watch Paul Walker and guys watch the Fast and Furious and shit. And I'll go out in my car and just want to, you know, get on it. I don't know. It doesn't take much to motivate me to put the pedal down. I'll tell you.
I'm obsessed with Fast and Furious also. And to be honest with you, I bought my first Challenger in 2012 because of Fast and the Furious, you know, because it's just, I loved that old school Charger look.
Yeah.
And nowadays, the only modern car that still has that look is the Challenger.
Yep.
You know, and that's why I basically had the same cars that I have now. Back then, I had the 2012 SRT 392 Challenger, and I had a Rubicon, which was a 2015. And now I basically got the new version. I got my new Rubicon, which is bigger, and now it's a Hellcat, because back then, you know, Hellcat didn't exist back then.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I can't remember, maybe you guys in chat or JMC knows, I can't remember which Fast and the Furious it was, but there was one where they're going down the highway, and I think it's Miami, and they have a safe that they're dragging across the highway, and it's 3 Charger SRTs. Yeah. And it's not my body style Charger. It's the 2012 through 2014. And I can't remember which, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was Fast 5, but if I'm wrong, someone in here will correct me for sure. But I saw those Chargers going down the highway and I was like, oh my God, those are sick. Those are so sick. They're so much better than the old ones because the old Charger SRT8's got a really bad rep, and they got picked up by a lot of people that beat them up, tore them down, and they were just not, you know, appreciated. But the new one, when Fiat took over, was absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, Fast Five, that's definitely the one. And then now again, I'm not, there's been so many of them, I can't remember which one it was. One of the Fast and Furious movies, they had BMWs. They were going down this back road somewhere in Brazil, I think it was, and they all had the V10 E60 M5s, and there was 3 or 4 of them, and they were screaming. There was 3 or 4 M5s just blazing. It was after Fast 5. I think it may have been Fast and Furious or Fast and Furious 6. I can't remember. Someone in here I'm sure they'll know which one it was. But it was awesome. They had a bunch of BMWs running down. They were hooked up. Those Beamers were fast. They even wrecked one of them. It crashed into one of the trucks, and that was hilarious, but very heart-wrenching at the same time. If I crashed an M5, I think I might cry myself to sleep.
Yep.
That's sad. But, you know, one question, you know, that I didn't plan on asking, I'm just curious. Have you ever had yourself involved in a car accident where you were just like devastated? Not someone got hurt.
No. Okay. I got two to tell you.
Nice.
And this is crazy. So I was about to say what my first car was, but I'll skip that part. So I always wanted to buy my own Corvette. Okay. And when I was a kid, so when I was really young, I was a nerd and I would study my ass off. I had a good job since an early age. So right around when I was like around 22, 23, I was shopping for a C6 Corvette. And, I kept telling my mom about it. I kept telling my mom I want to get a Corvette. And my insurance was under like it was cheaper to have the insurance with the family. But my mom kept lying to me. She kept telling me like, no, you can't get a Corvette because the insurance is going to be like $7,000, $8,000 because of your age. She just didn't want me to get a Corvette because she's afraid I'm going to kill myself. But for the longest time, I just kept believing her. Then one day I finally called the insurance company. I was like, how much is it? And they told me it was like, I don't know, it's probably like around $3,000, a little over $3,000. And I literally went racing to the dealership to go get this Corvette. So I walk into this dealership. It was a Ram Chevrolet. I remember in Port Jefferson, Long Island. I go to this dealership. Keep in mind, I'm in Long Island, Spanish-looking guy, 22, 23 years old, and they have a separate building just for Corvettes. So it was like a rainbow outside. Every color Corvette is outside. I walk in, nobody even went to help me. They thought I'm probably just there to, go for a ride or something like that, waste their time. So there was one guy that was on the phone, and when he was on the phone, the second he got off the phone, he came to me. He's like, look, these guys are assholes. These guys are like sharks. When people walk in here, they come to you right away. They're not coming to you because they probably think you can't afford a Corvette. So the guy was really cool. He's like, look, let's go for a test drive. He threw the keys at me. And he's like, let's go for a test drive. I'm like, all right, cool. So we had a blue C6 Corvette, brand new. I'm driving it down. I think it was actually stick. It was a manual. I'm going down the road with him, and he's looking at me. He's like, look, I used to be a race car driver, and I used to teach people in Vegas. He's like, you're driving this car way too slow. I'm like, it's not my car, so I feel uncomfortable kind of beating on it. So we go down the road. He's like, look, when we get to the light, we're going to switch. I'm going to show you what this car can do. And this is a true story. So the second he got into the car, I guess he disabled traction control. And he disabled traction control. As soon as he launched, immediately, he lost control of the Corvette. Brand new Corvette. Went into the grass. There was a cheap little thin metal fence. Crashed through the fence. We just missed a tree. And a brand new Corvette just landed like in this little farm. We were like stuck there. Okay? Like a brand new Corvette. Ever since that happened, I feel very, very uncomfortable sitting in the passenger seat while somebody else is driving crazy. So when he actually crashed, for a quick second, I was almost thinking like, should I act like I'm passed out? Because, maybe I could get a better bargain. Maybe I could negotiate and get a better deal on this Corvette if I buy a Corvette. So whatever, he asked me to lie for him. And I told his boss that a car went in front of him and he had to swerve to avoid a bigger accident, whatever. Long story short, I ended up buying a brand new Corvette. Not that one. We did a custom order, and I bought a brand new Corvette. It was a yellow C6. Remember the name of the color was Velocity Yellow. 2 months after I bought that Corvette, I already had vanity plates on it. I remember it said "You will lose" on the back of the vet.
That's awesome.
And I'm driving down the road, and this lady rear-ended me. I had my courses. I think I had my courses already on there, and this lady rear-ended me, and I literally got sick. I was okay. I wasn't injured, but I ended up in the emergency room. This is where I'm telling you I have an obsession with the cars. I ended up in the emergency room that night because I had a fever. Like, I literally got sick. I think I was like so stressed that this lady crashed into the back of my Corvette that I was like so stressed that for some reason that same day I had a fever that was out of control. I ended up in the ER because I was like, I felt like crap. And this literally all happened from a car accident. Like, I was never really injured, but the stress of my car being hit, my first Corvette that I bought, oh my God, I couldn't handle the stress. I can't have anything wrong with my cars. It kills me. I can't sleep. Can't hear you. Nothing. Can't hear anything.
Test. Better?
Good.
It's that cable. I agree. I have any issues with my car, I got to fix it the day of. I have a story of my own that's actually insane. And I made a stupid decision. I was racing in Mexico. Actually, you know what? I could just say I was literally 100% racing in Canada. Fuck Mexico. I was in Canada racing. That's exactly where I really was. And I went there on vacation, and Canada's speed limits are higher than ours, most of them. Not all of them, just most. And we were there, and I was there for like maybe 5 months with my brother, and I had a Type R Integra like I have now. It wasn't a true Type R. It was like just an RSX hooked up with a supercharger. So it was like 400 and maybe 50 crank, like 370, 380 to the wheel. And I was coming down the highway, and some guy wanted to go in I think it was a 1981 or 79. It was late 70s, early 80s Malibu. I think it was probably more like an 82. And if I knew anything about the car, it was that it was for sure a 350, and he probably had about 400 horsepower out of it. It was definitely fast. So we had a nice little race, a nice little roll race. We flashed at maybe 30. And in Canada, they flash their headlights sometimes in order to race. They'll go blink, 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 or you'll honk. We flashed because we didn't want to make no noise, because cops can hear 3 honks. They're not stupid. So we would just flash, and we went, and I got him by about 3 car lengths, plenty of room for me to get in front of him. So what happened is when we went, we cut it off about $150. Which in Canada is about 190 kilometers an hour. It's almost double the speed limit on that road, but it was pretty empty. Well, right when I was pulling out of third gear, maybe a few seconds before we cut it off, some lady pulled out in front of me. She was only 50 yards in front of me, and I hit the brakes, and there was no way in hell I was going to stop. I was going to run right through her and probably kill myself. So I went to get over. And the guy that I beat, he had to have been back. There was plenty of room for me to get over. Instead of him saying, holy shit, some woman pulled out in front of this guy and moved to the center lane, so we all move over and get out of the way, like any street racer would do, he stayed in the lane and he sped up so that he could pass me. So he rear-ended me. He didn't hit me dead on, but he clipped my back bumper. And what happened was my car lost control. Now, I'm not lying to you when I say this is the honest to God truth. This is going to sound like a lie. It's so crazy. But when I was coming down the road, I made a 360 when he hit me, and I was facing the woman that I almost rear-ended, and I was going backwards 40 miles an hour. I was staring at her. I went completely around her like this and was facing her. And then I hit the guardrail doing 50 miles an hour, and I did $11,000 of the front end damage to my Integra. If my Integra had not been lowered, I'd be dead, and there'd be no YouTube right now, because the guardrail that I hit buckled and bent, and the wood broke, and that steel pushed over. If I had have been 3 or 4 inches higher, I would have broke the steel right off because I was so low that my hood kind of went under some of the steel, so it didn't damage it all the way. Well, if I had hit it, obviously would have broke it dead on, and that means I would have dropped 400 feet into a ravine, which I would be dead. There'd be no YouTube right now. You guys wouldn't be watching me. I was 2 inches away from being dead. It was a very stupid move, and that's why I only race in Mexico now on open highways with no traffic. Literally, if you saw my street speed videos, you'd see it was a dead road. It's just me and him. I won't, if there's traffic, there's no going for me anymore.
Okay, let's talk about racing. Yes. Well, right as you hit that, because I see other channels, like I've done racing videos, but when I do racing videos, of course, I'm in Mexico, guys, you know. Oh, no, this is not my Mexico shirt. So I'm always in Mexico, but you know, some people sometimes they're like complaining in the comment section, like, oh, you're putting people at risk or whatever. But when I'm racing, the thing that I want people to realize is, number one, you see no houses, no businesses, no cars. Literally, the only thing you see is either just, you know, concrete or you see trees. And the only person that's going to get killed is me if I'm racing near trees. Like, I will never do, and it's not just, I mean, yes, the safety thing is a big thing, but you also got to keep it in mind, and this stresses me out. And like, I got friends that are YouTubers that do the same thing too, and everybody thinks I'm paranoid when it comes to this. But I've actually already had like the local precinct hit me up, warning me, like, you know, chill with your racing at that spot, which ever since they gave me the warning, I have not raced at that spot anymore. Now I got a new spot. But still, the point is, when you're racing and you're racing around other cars, all it takes is another car to just film you with their cell phone. If they film you with that cell phone and they turn it in, it's going to be a really big headache for you guys. Because I interviewed that other kid that did the 198 miles an hour. Somebody filmed him with a cell phone. They turned it into the cops. And he, I mean, I think he finally got off because his face was not shown the second he was actually doing 198. But still, thousands and thousands of dollars are spent on attorney fees, multiple lawyers, and it's a nightmare. I mean, so it's not just a safety thing, but all these other people that are doing racing videos, have common sense. Don't do it where there's people. Don't do it when there's cars. I mean, it's a safety thing, and you're also going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. It's a serious issue. And, you know, that's why since then I haven't really done a whole lot. And it's not the only time that it's happened. I mean, it can, believe it or not, it could also happen to you when you're not racing. I was coming down in a highway in North Carolina, which has got a lot of open dead end roads, or not dead end roads, but dead roads with no traffic. I was coming down a main stretch of highway in North Carolina, and my brother and I were doing about 25 over. Now, we really weren't going that fast, maybe 65, 70 miles an hour in a 45. That's fast enough, but it's not like we were racing. And some lady was coming out from two different spots. Now, imagine I'm going straight, and to my right down the road, someone's trying to pull out onto the road and get beside me. But also at that same intersection, someone in the opposite direction coming towards me is trying to turn left, and they're waiting for me to pass them so that they can make a turn. Well, they both turned at the same time right as I'm approaching the intersection. So my car went between both of them, and I only had about 3 inches between the cars from T-boning them. Now, that's fucking insane, and most people wouldn't believe me because of how insane it sounds, but my brother was with me, and we don't know how we got out of that. And I was in my old Ford Focus. I had an old Ford Focus SVT, and I just don't know. I can't even begin to imagine how we did it, because I remember, and they always say that when you're in a bad situation where your life's at risk or you're going to get hurt or it's a severe moment, just one of those crazy happenings, that your brain will remember the details differently than anything else. Like a life experience, you can remember details that most people can't. And I remember vividly looking out my driver window, looking to the left, and I could see the front of their bumper come right up to my door. And you probably couldn't have fit a piece of paper between our cars as I went past her. It was that close that I literally knew. I thought I 100% guaranteed my brother we just got hit, and we didn't. I don't know how I made it out of that or how it worked, but had I sneezed, or let off the gas or she accelerated, anything that could have changed. If the wind had blown against me any harder than it did, she would have hit me straight on, because that's how close it was getting out, that my brother and I pulled over immediately. And at the time, you know, he's 32 now, but at the time he was like maybe 18. And we got over it at the very next stop and we're shook up. We were both shaking. We literally thought we were mincemeat and we weren't. It's just, that's happened several times. I just, you know, thankful that it wasn't one of those incidences that could have taken our life or paralyzed us, or even worse, paralyzed someone else when we got sued. The road's a very dangerous place. It really is. It's not safe. Not at all. So I'm sure you agree.
Oh, I agree. Definitely.
It's,
I mean, if you're going to do it, like I said, I mean, I live out in the suburbs, really far away from the city. And when I do anything like that, I go all the way down to Mexico. So you can just imagine how much I have to drive to find a good spot.
oh yeah. It's a long
But I see people that do this in Nassau County, close to the city. And the other day, I remember on Instagram, some kid killed himself. They're racing, and they got sidewalks on the sides. You know, and it's like a really tight road. And they're trying to fit two cars to do a race, and all it takes is you lose a little bit of control, and you're going to go into the sidewalk. That car's going to flip. I mean, it's not going to end well at all.
Yeah, it like the road's a dangerous place, and a car is a weapon. You have to treat it as such. You have to learn how to control it, and you're never really entirely in control of a car. All you really do is can hold on for dear life when something goes wrong, but you can assert yourself with, you know, safe practice. If you're not good with a car and you're not a trained professional on a road course and you don't know how to maneuver your car like an expert, you got to drive the speed limit or close to it and try not to endanger other people. You know, my stepdad, almost lost his life, and he's in the military, or was from 1991 until 2 years ago. And in 2005, they went up to Fort Drum, New York, and some stupid, crazy 20-year-old in a Volkswagen Beetle T-boned their Tiburon. And she was coming down a hill, and you know, the first thing I would do if I'm sliding down a hill and there's a car at the bottom of the hill is I would definitely not in any circumstance touch the brakes ever. It's not going to do nothing. What I would do, to be honest, is touch the gas and turn the wheel and try to slide in a different direction. I would try to coast off. If she had played the gas pedal properly, she could have totally avoided she had half a mile downhill to hit the gas and go along the guardrail, scrape the car along the guardrail and go past the other car. Sure, you'd have, I don't know, $500 of the damage to your car. You're doing what, 8, 10, 15 miles an hour, maybe 20. You hit the guardrail, you need a new hood and bumper. You're not going to total your car. Just slide along the guardrail, use the gas to keep burning the tire, shove yourself against the guardrail. You're not going to stop. So don't touch the brakes. Only a fool touches the brakes in ice going downhill. What are you going to accomplish? You're going to, once you tram line the car, you have no control. So that's what she did. She locked up the brakes, locked up the steering wheel, slid straight down a hill, gained speed the entire time, smashed into my parents' car, broke my mom's ribs, 2 of them, knocked out one of her teeth, gave her a concussion. And my stepdad is 6'2", 240 pounds, and he was crushed into a space this big. And they said he'll never walk again. It'll never happen. And he had a doctor in Syracuse, New York. They called him and said, look, I know you're retired. We have a military man here. He's going to never walk again. He'll probably die if you don't operate. You can at least save his life. He said, I'm coming in. He drove an hour and a half, 2 hours in. They gave my stepdad a 16-hour, $350,000 military operation. And within maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, he could stand. The man was standing in 4 days. They gave him hip reconstruction titanium surgery, and the bones were fusing around the metal, which was great. And then they said, we're not sure if you'll walk again without crutches, but you'll at least walk. 8 months later, he dropped the crutches. And to this day, he walks and runs without them. And he got a second chance at life through God and a doctor that was better than anybody, who the doctor, by the way, then since passed away, was the only man in the world that could have given him the surgery he had. And it just so happened to be that doctor lived only 2 hours from the hospital he was going into surgery. That's where the doctor used to work. And I don't know how he got so lucky. It has to be a work of God, because that guy was retired and he came in and died only a couple years after the surgery. Nobody else could have done that surgery. They told us that if he hadn't have done it, you'd have died or not walked again. But God was with him, and God willing, he still walks to this day. And he has some hip pain and he gets uncomfortable in chairs, and he put on a little bit of weight because he can't work out all the time. But he's not fat, and he can walk, and he's alive and living life. And you know, you can't ask for much more than that in a situation like that. It's just amazing. It really is amazing, the willpower he had to walk again. And not only that, 6 months after the accident, he got deployed to Qatar, and Qatar is not a hostile zone, but it's still, you know, over there in close to the war. And that was back in 07. He started lifting weights and working out, and he came back at 205 pounds at 6'2". He was in shape. And I was like, holy shit, how are you able to lift and run and do all this? He's like, my hip is good. Everything's good. And then he went back to an x-ray. This summer, he went to an x-ray. He was at my house here. He was probably in one of my videos. I can't remember. I was filming on the porch and he was out there. And it was really funny because he went to, and they, you know, to the interview with the doctor, and they said that his bones have fused completely over all the titanium. So he's, you know, not going to need a hip replacement. Only the screw will have to be changed. So he'll be the same as he is right now for the rest of his life. It won't get worse. He got lucky. So he dodged a very big bullet there, man. Very big.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Life is so short. You gotta be careful in the road. You have to. It's very sad.
It'll be snowing soon too. Actually, I think we got some snow coming in this week.
Oh man.
At least for me.
Don't say that. Oh, don't say that.
Well, I'm good either way. I'm good either way. I drive the Jeep during the week, so.
Oh, that's pretty sad though that we're gonna get snow. I hate that. I fucking hate it.
So no car content when there's snow.
Yeah, I don't look forward to it. I don't, not one bit. I hate it for the passion. It's not my favorite.
You got the Duramax though. You'll be able to create some content.
Yeah, that's true. I will. The Duramax is great. I just don't want there to be a shitload of snow. I'm picking up my new car in like a month or two. I don't want to have like the Redeye sitting in the garage and be like, oh, I can't drive it. I can't do content. You know what? Fuck it. I'm doing burnouts in the snow. If everybody wants to see burnouts in the snow, the Redeye, let me know. I'll do it. I really will. I'll do burnouts in the snow. We're not going to go very far. I'll have to tow it home with Duramax, but I'll tow it somewhere, do burnouts in the snow, tow it back.
Well, be careful. You don't want your motor to blow, because that's how Family Cruising, I believe, messed up his motor from driving it around in the snow, revving it up pretty high. I think that's what he said finally blew his motor.
Yeah.
And let me add one more thing. HHP. I spoke to HHP because of my build. And the one guy I spoke to now, this is beyond my car knowledge. One thing that they mentioned to me is, look, a supercharged vehicle, especially after you do like a pulley swap or whatever the case is, but a supercharged vehicle, according to them, in very low temperatures, doing wide open throttles, revving it up high, is not good for the car. It's not good for it at all. And I remember I took that and I kind of put that together with what happened in Family Cruising, and I'm guessing that that's the reason why it happened. At least he believes that's the reason why his motor went also.
To a degree, yes. From my automotive knowledge, building engines and whatnot, I don't really know for 100%. But what I will say is that Paul was pretty hard on the car. So what you want is you want the operating temperature, the ECT temperatures, which is your coolant. You want them to be at full operating temperature at minimum. Oil doesn't lubricate jack shit until it's 170 degrees Fahrenheit. And you don't want to be revving your engine or doing anything until you're at operating temperature, which is why I follow a very strict set of rules when I get on my car. My car must be idled and running, summer or winter, doesn't matter, 15 minutes of idling or driving before I'll even get on it. I don't think that It's cut and dry. That's simple. I think that he probably started his car up many times, like most people do, revved it, burned out, redlined it, drove the shit out of it before it was warm. He may have thought it was warm. It may have showed that it was warm, but thinking and showing is not warm. Warm is warm. And there's a few things you can do to test that out in a vehicle besides actually going to the gauge and it's showing you what temperature it is, but I never go off that at all. I just go off of time. It doesn't matter how cold it is outside. If you're driving a car and you have it idling and running and you're driving it for 15 or 20 minutes, it's at operating temperature. Even if your gauge says you're at 170, if it's only been running 5 minutes, don't believe it. 5 minutes is not enough to get your engine up to operating temperature safely and get the coolant flowing. I never would do that. I don't want to talk shit, but let's just say that I'm going to put this in a way that I can disguise what I'm trying to say without talking shit, because I'm not that kind of guy, but I'm going to have to do it now. Okay. Let's just say that if Paul had have went to HHP, his engine would have never blown. That's a fact. I will put that on record as being a straight fact that if Josh had tuned his car, he would not have that problem. Unless he was redlining and burning.
But let me throw something else into the mix, because I didn't speak with Josh first of all. I spoke with the guy at HHP that picked up the phone when I was making my appointment. But the other thing that he was talking about in the winter is the fact that fuel, the fuel is a winter blend. So now think about you got a pulley, you're tuned for 93 octane. Now you're running winter fuel, which is probably not even maybe full 93 octane, possibly. You know, you could, because I've heard the same thing with these Diablo tuners that I've been having so much problems with, where they tune the car, I don't know where they're located, for 93 octane, and then you're out here in New York and you don't have full 93 octane, and then the engine starts knocking or whatever. You may have some knock. So my question is, winter blend, 93 octane, Hellcat supercharged. According to this person I spoke to, they're just making it sound like that cold air that the car is sucking in, it's going to cause the car to knock. And, you know, the car's not going to like that. He says that's the reason why most people put their cars away for the winter. Now, I want to have the same conversation with Josh when he works on my car, because being a YouTuber, I drive my car year round. As long as there's no snow on the ground, I will drive it year round. And if I could do a race, I'll do a race, even if it's cold outside too. I would like to be able to. That's definitely like a concern. Like, I think that person made me a little paranoid when he said that, because I was like, you know, I need to be able to drive my car in the winter, and I want to. I mean, I won't do what Paul did, take it out in the snow and redline it all day either, but I want to be able to do some pulls and do a little bit of racing.
It's all in the tune, and how I can back that up is look at my Hellcat. I did burnouts in my Hellcat in the snow last year for 30 straight minutes. I was outside doing burnouts and filmed the best ones and put it in my video. No issues. Mike at Street Speed's got a Corvette, and he's done burnouts in the snow in his McLaren, in his Corvette. He drives his shit in the winter. I don't think I've ever skipped a winter in my Mustang, my BMW, my Hellcat, and I've never had a single issue. But then you've got to understand that Mike's vehicles were either stock or he had the only reputable tuner on his McLaren. I had a reputable JB4 on my BMW. I had a reputable tuner tune my Mustang, and the best in the country tuned my Hellcat. So what it really comes down to is, if your car is at operating temperature and you don't bounce the rev limiter nonstop, and you have a reputable tune that's a good tune, and you're not running shit fuel, because you got to remember, Paul could have accidentally put bad fuel in it. If you've got a Hellcat and it's tuned by Josh, and you're running Shell gasoline, or you're running BP or Exxon or Sunoco, and you've got the good gas, and Josh has tuned it, and you're not bouncing off the rev limiter, and you don't have a lemon, you're not going to hurt your engine. I just
it's smarter to have Josh maybe tune the car for maybe 91 octane, and you actually use 93 octane. This way, you never run the chance of having like a bad fuel in your tank.
Yeah, you could. The thing is that you can't use Wawa fuel, and you can't use Q-Check fuel. You can't use any of that, you know, Benny's gas station fuel, Jeremy's Quick Stop, stuff like that. You can't run any of that fuel. It has to be BP, Exxon, Sunoco, or Shell. And based on what I've learned in cars over the years, I think, to be honest, that Shell's V-Power is the best fuel on the planet. It just is, in my opinion. I mean, it's tried, tested, and true. I've had no knock in my Hellcat, no knock in any car I've owned. And every car I've owned, I have went out of my way for Shell V-Power. They are top tier gas. They're right at the top. It's very expensive. But if you're going to run your Hellcat in 93, it needs to be top tier gas. Now, there's nothing wrong with Exxon. There's definitely nothing wrong with BP. Sunoco have fantastic fuel. They really do. But I just think V-Power's, additives and the way their octane rating is and just the quality of their fuel, I just feel it's the best of the top four. And if you can find yourself, I know in Long Island, you finding a Shell might be really hard. I think you guys have a lot of Mobil One and a lot of BP.
Well, I usually just use Mobil. That's what I've been using so far.
Yeah, Mobil's good. I would say that you're good with that. There's nothing wrong with 93 at all. I think that as long as you're, getting Josh to tune it, and you got Mobil One, that's another good gasoline. I don't have extensive experience with Mobil One because they only have it in upstate New York. And I lived in upstate New York for a year, and I got Mobil One a couple of times. I know that in New York in general, Sunoco, Mobil One, and BP are the big ones. Exxon is pretty scarce, and Shell is very scarce in New York. It's more like I said, Mobil and BP are the big ones. Sunoco's huge in upstate. Like if you ever take your way up to Poughkeepsie or Kingston, it's Sunoco at every corner.
What is it, Sunoco or Shell that offers 94 octane? No, one of those two do.
Sunoco upstate New York has 94, and my Hellcat and my Beamer, they love it. 94 is fantastic. In the winter, you want more octane for sure. But the simple fact is that gasoline is not created equal. It really isn't. The comments right now, he didn't blow up because he was doing burnouts in the snow. Red Eye Joe said that. I agree 100%. I'm just reading these comments.
He's saying that it's from the wear and tear from modding his stock engine, but didn't he pretty much just do like an upper? Well, no, he did upper pulley and he was doing race fuel, I think, too. Catalyst.
Yeah. I think that's in this. Yeah.
I think the upper pulley's supposed to be pretty safe, especially if you're just doing like a 285. It's very
285. You're good with 93. The thing is that a lot of people get carried away, and the thing is, it is a supercharged engine running high compression. I think it's not. I could be wrong, but I think it's 9.5 to 1 compression. Now, 9.5 to 1 compression in a supercharged vehicle is a lot. It's a hell of a lot. In the GT500, the compression is 8.5 to 1. In some vehicles, it's 8.0. And some you might get are 9. 9.5 to 1 compression running friggin' 12 pounds of boost stock for a Hellcat. That's a lot of heat. That's a lot of compression. That's a lot of heat. That's a lot of power. And that's why you need 93. And a lot of things could have happened. He could have got bad gas.
You saw that, right? Because, I mean, he was just lightly accelerating at the time, too. Like, he wasn't even redlining it when it happened, I remember.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if I was to guess what happened, there's no way for me to truly know what happened, but you got to have a good tune. So here's what we know. This is what they like to say. I'm stealing that quote. Here's what we know. We got a Hellcat running high compression, high power, requires high octane. We're in the winter time, and the engine needs to be at operating temperature. We have an aftermarket tune by a gentleman that I can't really say that we have a good tune. And we're doing burnouts in the snow, and we're bouncing off the rev limiter for consecutive minutes on end, and we already drive the car like a bat out of hell every day. It puts wear and tear on a car no matter what. But when you've got a poor tune and possible poor gas and your car not warmed up to operating temperature, how much can one rod really withstand? In
fact, you're right, though. It could have also been like the bad fuel, especially being the winter blend, and then he's like revving it up that high. Because I remember one of the things I even told the person from HHP was well, if I know I'm going to beat on my car in the winter, I'll fill up the tank with 93 octane, and maybe I'll dump a bottle of that butane just to kind of play it safe. If I know I'm going to be doing some kind of pulls or race.
Yeah, it very well could have. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was partially due to that. I don't want to get too into depth in, you know, Barth, but I know some backstory. I just know some stuff, and it ain't good, about people being left stranded and certain people's vehicles being shoved away and given up on, where other tuners, which I'm not going to say their name, even though it's a compliment, had to pick up and fix the mess. If you guys know what I'm saying. You know, all I can say is that Josh over at HHP is phenomenal. And I feel that if you have a Hellcat and you're getting it tuned, he's the only option. Now, I have zero experience. I haven't heard anything bad or good. Nothing. I don't know anything about AJ at Hemi Tuner. So I can't say good or bad. I don't know.
I think they work together, though. I've heard a lot of good things of AJ. AJ tuned my first Challenger, actually.
Oh, okay.
I live like literally 20 minutes away from the shop. He works with Jim at True Street.
Okay.
And as far as I know, at least even if you look on the forums, I think it's it's a woman that drives it. I think it's a Top Cat. I don't know if you've seen it on the forums.
Top Cat passed away.
Yes, well, his wife.
Yeah.
His wife. He's still on the forums. And she swears by AJ and Josh at HHP.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the story I didn't want to bring up, was that when Top Cat passed away, a certain tuner in the country had his belongings in car and stuffed it all in a trailer, and another tuner had to go retrieve it to fix the car. And you know, that's a story that I don't want to get into, but if Linda ever saw this video, guaranteed she would say I'm telling the truth. And you know, it's really sad to be in that situation. And I don't like to put negatives out against people. And that's why I'm refusing to get into any more details, because I don't like living in a negative life, but sometimes the truth has to come out enough so that, you know, the same problem doesn't happen again. And, you know, I feel really bad for Paul, because deep down inside, Paul's a really good guy, and I know him. And, you know, I don't have anything but good things to say about Paul. He's fun to hang out with. He's nice, considerate guy. And you know, it really fucking sucks that his car blew up, and it blew up because of not being warm enough and the tune being bad, or it's straight the tune to blame. Maybe Paul didn't do nothing wrong. Maybe his car was warm. Maybe the gas was good. Maybe I'm just need to go out and say that, you know, maybe Paul knows more about cars than we think he does, and he didn't do nothing wrong. Maybe the revving and all that just the engine gave out because the tune was total dog shit. Maybe that's the whole fucking problem. And we'll never know the deep down fact, but what we do know is that after his engine blew up, he went to the dealership, and the dealership was a bunch of fucking monkeys. These guys, I wouldn't let them change the oil on a 1988 Toyota Camry that's worth $500. I wouldn't even let them change the oil on that. These idiots work on his engine, and it blows up because they didn't connect something properly, probably the fuel lines or something, because it leaked, caught fire, and you don't want to have negative pressure in a supercharged engine. So somewhere along the line, negative pressure or vacuum came out, and something blew and it exploded. Or there was a leak in one of the cylinders. God only knows what happened. What we do know is the dealership messed up. They couldn't man up to their problem and fix the car. Instead, they got a lawyer to bully Paul around so that he couldn't put the truth out there, which I think is complete fucking bullshit. And if they did that shit to me, I'd breathe down their face so hard they would never do business again. I would see to it. Better Business Bureau. I would have everybody breathing down their necks. It would only be a few months before they were shut down. I would not stop until I ceased their business, because that's bullshit. And it'd be different if they blew up and his car caught fire and they said, look, what we're going to do is we're going to sell you a Hellcat with, and this is what I would do. We're going to sell you a Hellcat, the same color in a 19, and we're going to sell it to you at our cost. So if it's 78 grand, our cost is 64. We're going to give it to you for 64. We know you only owed 45 on your car, 50. You're going to be 10 grand more in debt, but we're going to get you a good APR. We're going to get you down to our cost. We're going to get you in another car with no down payment if we have to. We're going to get you in the car. We're going to work on it. Okay. You have a new car.
It's
So-
also the cost of the motor that he literally just bought a new motor for it also. And it's not just that, he's out whatever depreciation for the car plus the cost of the motor. I mean, I had my first Jeep went up in flames. So trust me, like I felt for Paul when I saw that happen because it's horrible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how the dealership would do this to him. And they're like, the funny part is, yeah, no, it's not our fault. The dealer says in their report, it's not our fault. He blew his engine the first time. He probably did it a second time. Newsflash, he's had the car a day. I don't care how bad you are on vehicles. If you can blow an engine by spirited driving in one day and catch the car on fire, you are the devil himself and need to put your license up. There's no way Paul blew that car and caught it on fire by bad driving. If that's the case, every Hellcat in the country would have caught on fire.
Part of the issue is the fact that when they gave him back the car,
right,
he still had the fuel injectors, from not the aftermarket ones.
Yeah,
his car wasn't completely stock, so I think that's why the dealership's kind of, saying, "Oh no, it's not our fault because the Hellcat wasn't stock." I wish his Hellcat would have been stock because obviously the dealership messed something up. Obviously.
I can hear you. They were a little bit concerned with that. That makes sense, but it's just sad the dealership would do that to him and get a lawyer involved. And he's not the only one. There's this other guy. I can't remember his name. He's on YouTube. His Challenger was a lemon, and this dealership in Arizona or Las Vegas or whatever. And they wouldn't buy it. They finally bought it back, and he's getting a red eye. So it took him a year and lawyers to do that. And it's like, it's not Dodge's fault because I've been through the claim process. I know the people who work up at SRT actually have one of the guys on speed dial because there was shit wrong with my Hellcat, and they reimbursed me for it. And one of the guys who authorizes the checks, who I know, really nice guy, but they don't have control over these dealerships. They are independent dealers. And if they don't want to warranty the work on your car, SRT basically just sends you to another dealer. So if every dealer says no, even though it's a warranty claim, you're SOL because it's up to the dealers, and it puts Dodge and FCA in a really big pickle because if they enforce the dealers to fix vehicles to a point where they have no rights and no decision-making power at all, they'll stop franchising Dodge, and Dodge will go out of business. So Dodge can't get involved legally. They can't. All they can do is authorize repairs to a dealer, send you to a dealer, give you customer service, and under court of law, buy you back your vehicle under lemon law. That's why it's critical to find a really good dealer. And I found a bunch of shit dealers like Salerno Dwayne, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram up there in Summit, New Jersey, a bunch of filthy slobs. Hacked up my fucking frame. You don't elongate a hole on a frame of a new car like that and cut it all up. It's stupid. They just are horrible. So another negative shout out, Salerno Dwayne, pile of garbage up there. And it's not just the Dodge dealer, it's the Ford dealership too, because when my wife went up there to buy a skid plate for my Shelby Mustang before I traded it for the Hellcat, the guy selling parts said, "Oh, I want to verify with your husband that's his credit card." She showed it to him and said, "I just want to call my husband to make sure that these are the right parts." He yelled at her and kicked her out of the store. I had to call the manager because he refused to give her the parts because she was wasting 5 minutes of his time for her to call me. And that was Salerno Dwayne Ford in Summit, New Jersey. So Salerno Dwayne is, as a general dealership, fucking suck. They're a pile of monkey poop. And if you plan on buying a car, Ford or Dodge, don't go to Salerno Dwayne. I don't give a shit if they're selling you a car $20,000 below MSRP. They will not help you. On the contrary, I can say that Manahawkin, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram here in Manahawkin, New Jersey are kick-ass, and the guys are genuine. So, if any of you guys want to buy a Mopar, if JMC ever wants to buy another Mopar, come to my dealership. These guys are awesome. And I told JMC what I paid for my Redeye, and I can't tell you guys the numbers. Is it not sick what I paid for my Redeye?
It's crazy. Seriously. To be honest with you, after I had that conversation with you, I just came to conclusion because in Long Island, it's the same thing. A lot of these, I've bought all these cars and you shop around, you get prices. And one common thing that I always see is a lot of these dealerships, I don't know if it's specifically Long Island, but they're all trying to rip you off.
Yep.
They're all trying to rip you off. And, you know, if anybody in this chat works for a dealership in the Long Island area and it's a good dealership and you want to work with me, let me know, because I need to find a good local dealership. And if I don't find one, I'm definitely going to have to go to Corey's dealer for future cars. But I want to find a good dealership on Long Island that I can have a relationship with, maybe review some cars, buy my cars from you, and, you know, I'll make you famous. Like I'll be making videos of that dealership all the time. You know, everybody will know the dealership. But it's tough to find a good dealer. Seriously, they rip you off. So many of them.
Yep. Even the good ones, they get mad. Like, I'm not going to say which dealership, you know, that I brought my Durango to per se, but, you know, because this dealership didn't do me dirty. They weren't the greatest, but they weren't the worst. I would say my overall experience with them was somewhat positive or neutral. Nothing really bad to say, but, you know, I'd go there and there'd be a problem with the Durango or a problem with the Hellcat, and they would just get a little frustrated and seemed like, you know, it was because you're bringing your car to them again. And it's like, listen, buddy, you know, it's not your $80,000, you know, fix the car. Like, it's not that big of a deal. They did.
It's their job. And it's annoying to you because it's like you're bringing the car to them and they should be wanting to fix it. They shouldn't be like, oh, it's this guy again. You know, this guy's
right. And the sad part is, honestly, from the heart, the truth, there was times where I didn't want to bring the car in. I would actually make excuses on how I could bring it there and bring it to a different service manager, or not bring the car, or butter them up on the phone. It shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't. It should be like, hey, I've got a problem with the car. This is the 7th time you've seen me for the 3rd or 4th different problem. We're not buttering it up, and I'm not beating around the bush. Fix the car. I'm going to come back every time. That's your job. The car's under warranty. It's an SRT. It's premium. It's $75,000, $80,000, $90,000 car, whatever. Fix the shit. I don't care if you see me every week. If there's a problem and I'm here every week, take that up with the assembly line, not me. I bought the car. I'm the customer. Should never have to kiss ass to get your shit fixed.
Fight. Like I've been in that same situation as you, and then I almost have to argue and fight with the dealership. I'm like, can you just stop being lazy, pick up the phone, call SRT, ask them, you know, ask for help so we could get to the bottom of it. You know, that's what happened with my last Challenger. My first Challenger had some weird issue, and I could never figure it out. I brought it to the dealership so many times, and then it just got to a point where I was just so frustrated. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just trade it into the dealership. They can't figure it out. Well, it's going to be their problem because I brought the car. It was under warranty. And I couldn't even get them to call SRT, so I called SRT. But it was a weird issue with the radio, the Uconnect. For some reason, if I was driving the car around and the volume on the Uconnect would just go out, I knew that if I turned it off and I parked my car, that the next morning the battery would be dead. That was like my, you know, like telltale sign. Like if the volume goes out on the radio and I turn it off, that car would not start up the next day. And the only way I could fix it was disconnecting the battery terminal and reconnecting it. They gave me a new Uconnect, a new radio. That didn't fix it. I mean, the car went in so many times. But if they can't fix it, and I paid all this money for the car, then, I mean, I feel like, well, I'm entitled to at least trade it into that same dealership that couldn't figure it out. It should be their problem because I'm paying for a car that much money. It's under warranty. They should be fixing it.
I 100%. It's just it's sad that we're in this predicament in this day and age with the technology we have and the money we spend. We shouldn't have to deal with that. And, you know, just not the dealerships. The reason why they act that way, the biggest part of it is because they don't make as much money. If I bring a car to Dodge and it's not a warranty claim, and I'm there paying them for an oil change or paying them to replace a radiator or whatever, they're making more money off that than your warranty work. And a dealer's there to make money. For example, if you brought your car to any dealership, doesn't matter, any honest, decent dealership that you think is nice and treated you with respect, any of them, doesn't matter which one, if they're going to fix or replace, let's say just a straight replacement of your supercharger, for example, the book might call for 3 hours under warranty. If I bring my Hellcat there to get the supercharger replaced, not under warranty and I'm paying out of pocket, even if I've already got the supercharger as a part, I already have it, I'm just paying them for labor, they're going to make 5 hours off of that because warranty work is skimmed down because SRT headquarters is not going to pay for lollygagging. Their SRT techs go as fast as they can, and they say, look, this can be done in 3 hours, even though it's going to be really hard. We're only paying 3 hours. This is warranty. The dealerships hate it because I know people at the dealerships, many of them that I've done reviews at, and they all say one thing that they have all said the exact same shit. And that is warranty work never goes as smooth as it should. So on the book, they got 3 hours, but every damn time it ends up costing them 4, which means the dealership's chewing 1, 2, 3 hours. That's $200 gone, $300 gone every time they have a warranty claim. So when they're really busy in the summer and they've got 5 of us to deal with every day, they're throwing away like $5,000 to $10,000 a week. That's why the dealerships don't want to do warranty work. And to a degree, I can understand the frustrations. And I think, you know, SRT needs to cough up just a bit more money, give them a little bit more flexibility. I think if FCA, now that they're backed by Fiat, you know, I forget, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I think his name is Marsigio or Sergio. I don't know his name. The guy who runs Fiat. But that guy, that greedy bastard, needs to cough up a little extra money for Chrysler and let them, and Dodge, and let them increase their payments to the dealerships so that they can, you know, be more happy. If the dealership is going to say, whoa, we're getting warranty work at the price of regular work, we're getting the hours, we're getting reimbursed, and if we do a certain amount of warranty work, we get a bonus. If we do more warranty work than anybody in the area, we get a bonus. Guys like us would go into the dealer and they'd say, oh, you need your supercharger replaced? No problem. We'll get you done in a day. We want to get this done for you. But there's no bonus system. There's no reward system for the dealers because Dodge is coming out of a serious bankruptcy and a buyout twice, and they finally have themselves on top. Now Tim Kuniskis and these other guys need to focus on rewarding the dealerships with some warranty work. That's my opinion. Maybe what do you think on that? Because I think they need to do that.
I agree. I mean, at least give them the motivation to want to work on these vehicles. It's either that or, you know what, there should be like Dodge should have like their own places around the country where, you know, if you're ever in a situation where the dealership can't fix it, well, you can at least escalate, bring the vehicle to an actual Dodge place, like a real Dodge place, not a dealership, and let them get to the bottom of it and make it right since you have that warranty.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And it would make things a lot smoother. And Dodge is not the only one that's got problems, man.
I agree.
Ford and BMW were the biggest, shadiest piles of poop on the planet. Those guys took me for $8,000 and it turned out it was one fucking injector. So, and I changed.
People like to bash on Dodge and this and that or whatever, but you know what? I've had Chevys, I've had Dodge, I've had Ford, I've had all the American cars. You have issues with every vehicle, and when it comes to modifications, I don't think I've ever had a modification done that has gone perfectly. And I'm a little bit nervous about modding my Hellcat, but you know, I hope, you know, Josh. I'll be in Josh's hands at HHP. I heard he's supposed to be like the best, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, you have nothing to worry about with Josh. He's phenomenal and you're not going to have any issues. I can almost guarantee it, you know, that you're not going to have any issues. Josh is the best. You know, it's just that a lot of guys do talk shit about Dodge. And you know what? It's not a lie. I reviewed, I'm not sure if anybody in here has seen it yet because they've been watching this live feed, but at 9 o'clock, my review posted of the 2019 Cadillac Escalade, the ESV, which is the extended version. And that's a great vehicle. The quality's phenomenal. The leather's phenomenal in it. The suede, everything. But every time somebody closes my door on that truck that I had for a couple of days, whether it be my son, my brother, my friend's family, whoever was in the truck, every time they closed the Escalade door, I'd hear a rattle in the door. Every time. $90,000 SUV, every time rattle. There was a rattle going down the highway that appeared out of nowhere. And it was after I filmed the review. I would have definitely put that in the review had it happened prior to the review, but it didn't. And it was annoying little rattle. And I can tell you guys from experience, I've driven probably 700 cars in the past 10 years. And just endless rental cars, shit cars, a lot of shit. No Ferraris or anything crazy, but like I've just driven a lot of average cars or sports cars, and I've rented them from Enterprise. I travel a lot for my job, so I'm renting cars. I drive a lot of everything. And I can tell you the honest to God truth is the Escalade's a great vehicle, but I thought my Durango SRT had much better build quality. Now, on the surface, no. The suede was better in the Cadillac. And it should be for $25,000 more dollars. And it looked better with the suede on the dash and the quality of the materials. But when I slammed the door on my Durango SRT, it was tight, quiet, and sealed. When I rode down the highway, there was no vibrations. I didn't have any rattling in the doors or any rattling in the windows. And it was faster and more sporty. And the warranty was better. It wasn't a 3-year 36. It was 5-year 50. So on that note, the Durango had better quality than the Cadillac, and it was $25,000 cheaper. And that comes from experience of owning one and driving them both and reviewing the Escalade. And like I said, it was a great SUV, but the Durango was the better truck.
Imagine taking that Escalade to the dealership and telling them, hey, I just bought this Escalade. There's a little rattle. They're going to look at you and be like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm going to, it's you know, if we're talking about Dodge's quality before 2012, yeah, I've owned them, and they're not that great. Some of them were great. Some of them were not. Overall, not impressed really with a lot of them. But your Hellcat, my Durangos, the Redeye, top notch, man. Quality's good. The Durango is good. I'm not going to complain. A lot of guys said, oh, you had that Uconnect problem with your Durango. Yeah, I had a Uconnect problem. It got fixed. Big deal. I never had any engine problems. I never had any major problems. It's a brand new car, brand new Uconnect, first year. Of course, you're going to have a little bit of a hiccup. Not to mention that I had vehicle number, I forget what he said it was. I think it was vehicle number 6 off the assembly line. I had the first Durango on YouTube besides the other guy that had it. But his channel was small. He had like 300 subscribers. It was pretty much Durango number 1 on YouTube. And one of the first guys in the country, like the 6th guy in the whole country to get it. And the first 2 worked at Dodge. So in reality, I was like customer 3 to the general public. Of course, my Durango is going to have an issue. Overall, the quality of the Durango, I'm not being a fanboy because I'm sure you and everybody else knows that I am as far from a fanboy. I even explained to you on the phone, I love everything. I got a Honda outside and a GM. Dodge has the best quality in the game right now, or for the most part. I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, the Mopar No Car right now is the truest it's been in 40 years. I mean, the interior, you got a Hellcat, you know, look at the interior. It's
awesome.
It's untouchable. I mean, you got suede and leather wrapped steering wheel. The steering wheel is the most comfortable flat bottom steering wheel I've ever held in my entire life.
I'm planning on, I hope to. I saw a really cool steering wheel that I want to buy for my Hellcat. It looks insane. All carbon fiber, bigger paddle shifters. I mean, it looks sick. Yeah. Oh, but it's still it's the same steering wheel, but it's just wrapped in leather and carbon fiber. It's sick, man.
Yeah, the interior is fantastic. Like I ordered my Hellcat wide body Redeye with the Alcantara interior with the Jeep interior, the 2-tone suede and leather, because I've got the Laguna. I think you got the Laguna too, right?
Yeah, mine's all, they call it a demonic red or something like that.
Yeah. The leather's really, really nice. In my Hellcat, I took the seats out to race Mike, put them in the garage, and my entire garage smelled like leather. It's real Australian cowhide leather. That's why it's $4,000 for the upgrade.
Too. Like I know this probably sounds a little crazy too, but I don't let usually people sit in my back seat. At least up to now, nobody's ever sat in the back seat because I feel like the leather's so soft.
Yeah.
That I don't want anybody messing on my leather.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Like this is why I respect Dodge so much. They were pretty much going under, and now they're top quality. And if I've driven the new Corvette C7, I reviewed it. I've done the new Escalade, the new Suburban, great vehicles, American companies. I support it 100%. Any great vehicle, but for that matter, they're not as comfortable or as overall refined as the Durango for the money. I love the square design of Chevy. I like they're doing the square design, and I like the fact that Mopar, you know, Dodge is doing the rounded kind of modern muscle style. And I like how, you know, they're going at it. I don't have much use for Ford. They're a bunch of sellouts now that only care about creating trucks. They gave up cars and all this go green shit and electric. They can have all that and shove it. I have no use for any of it.
Ford to me is the Raptor. I have a soft spot for the Raptors.
Yeah, and the Mustang. But if you want to know the honest truth, as an overall, like as an entirety, I think the GM brand in Chevy is better than Ford. I think GM's kicking their ass right now and stomping it real good. If you look at, you know, this is something I didn't want to bust out in this channel, but since we're all here anyway, if you guys don't already know, we have a new Camaro coming out for 2020, and it's going to be awesome. It is the ZR1 engine. It's going to be detuned. It's going to be a 745 horsepower ZL1. It's not something that GM's new to doing. They took the ZR1 engine from 2012 and stuck it in the C7 Z06, which is 650. Conveniently, it's a little different. Rods are different. Few little differences they changed, but it made 635 in the ZR1. They strengthened it, makes 650. Now that the C8 Corvette's coming out mid-engine, it's going to be making about 850 or 900, whatever it's going to be. We don't know yet. But there's going to be a 500 horsepower option, a 300, and also the 800, the C8, which I did in one of my older videos back this summer, is going to have 3 engines. The ZL1 is going to get the ZR1 engine. It's going to be because the current ZL1 is a detuned by 10 horsepower, 640 horsepower ZR1 engine. It's 5 horsepower more than the ZR1 was in 2012. And we're getting it again. The ZL1 conveniently is going to have 750 horsepower and right in time for the 772 horsepower Mustang and the 797 horsepower Redeye, which came out a year earlier so that Dodge could stay on top, which is why the Angel's coming with 888 horsepower or 909, which is the new Charger, which is a detuned Hellephant engine. Yes, that is coming, guys. I've told you that. Anybody who's watching, it's coming, just like I called the 426 and it happened too. But GM's killing Ford. They're going to kill him because that new Camaro is going to be badass. They've got the Camaro, they got the Corvette, the mid-engine, they got the ZR1. I think that I would take, I don't know about you, JMC, but I would take, I would take a Suburban or a Yukon over an Expedition any day of the week.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, and if I had to choose, man, I would much rather have, much rather have an Impala over a Taurus any day. So
I used to have a Tahoe. That was that was one of the first trucks I bought. It was a 2000 Z71 Tahoe. Yeah. And it was a Z71, I remember, but it was a really cool truck at the time. But the Z71 is supposed to be like their off-road package. And I swore that I thought I had the badass off-road machine. But I mean, now that I'm a Jeep owner, now I really know the Z71 thing's just, it's a joke when it comes to off-roading, but it's still a really cool truck. It's still a really cool truck.
Oh, yeah. No, it's awesome. And then there's more news for the Mopar guys. Anybody in here watching wants some Mopar news? I'm doing a video on this as well. There is a new pulley that was designed by the guy who actually designed the OEM pulley for Dodge for the Hellcats.
I thought you wanted to make a separate video about this because I wanted to talk to you about that also.
We'll do a separate video, but there's a pulley coming out that's going to be better than the pulleys we have now, and it's factory clutched.
But I have a problem. I don't trust it.
You don't trust it? It's the same guy who designed the factory pulley.
So the reason why I don't trust is because I don't know if there's a thread on the Hellcat.org forum. This pulley is not a 285. I think it's like a 272 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
It is.
So it's even smaller. Now, from what I know, the 285 is the smallest that you're supposed to go to be running on, 93 octane. So the guys that are going to be, I mean, one mechanic that I spoke to, I'm not going to mention their name, they said you should be able to just use this 272 and be on regular 93 octane. But if there's a really long thread about this pulley on Hellcat.org, and everybody's saying, no, do not use this if you're planning on running it on regular 93 octane. Because the 285 is already at the limit, and you're going to be pushing that limit even more with this 272.
Yeah, and if you got a good tuner like Josh who knows the pulley's actually smaller, he'll detune the ignition and take timing out so that you'll make the same power as a 275 or 285 safely, but you'll get a clutched pulley back and you won't have all that bobbing and weaving in the engine of it jumping. But well, only time will tell.
I mean, because right now it's already out. It is out right now.
Yep.
And I was close. I was debating if I was going to do that or if I was going to do maybe like a 285. But what do you think? Would you trust doing the 272 this early in the game? You know, not too many people have even had it.
You know, that's a decision you're going to have to think about. In my opinion, if Josh is the one taking care of everything, then really you're not running much risk because Josh isn't like some of the tuners out there that are going to take it and be like, oh, this is a 275 or a 285 and then tune you and advance the ignition and blow the engine. Josh knows it's a 272. He's actually been tuning these engines with these pulleys for months. I caught him in a video when I went there on the Hellcat back in August and I said, hey guys, something big for the channel. Can't tell you right now. He was tuning a Challenger Hellcat with it. So, he really knows that pulley really thoroughly. And if he says you can go with it and make the same power as a 285, but have a clutch pulley, I would trust anything he says. If he says to do it, do it. He's really great. And, you know, he's the go-to guy for me. I thought I was going to mess up my Charger Hellcat engine when I ran VP 110, which is like Q16. It's leaded fuel. And Josh was like, okay, how much fuel did you burn? I said about 1.5 gallons, maybe 2. How many miles did you drive? I was like 14. And he's like, you hit it a couple of times. I was like 4 times. He's like, nope, nowhere near enough to cause a problem with your cats. He says, you'll have to run like 6 gallons, 12 gallons, put a couple hundred miles. He says, you put 12 miles and 1.5 gallons. Not a single issue. Did you have a check engine light? I was like, nope. He said, pump it out of your fuel rail, fill with 93, go back. So I did that. No issues. So Josh knows his stuff. So if he says to do it, do it. I wouldn't even second guess him. Not even for a second.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
How many people we have in this chat right now?
We have 23 and we've
still have people with us this long.
Yeah, no, they're sticking. My viewers, I got to hand it to them. These guys will stay in here and ride my live videos out and chat amongst themselves like we're doing, you know, like a 2-hour, 3-hour episode. They'll hang out here and chat with each other. It's very social. And that's what I got to say. All you guys that are in here right now, chatting in here, have been in here since the beginning or joined us. I know Dan Mopar, man, and Jeremy Willis has been in here for, God, over an hour. I love you guys because you guys will support the channel and let this stuff roll out. You'll just keep letting the live videos go and you'll hang out here and talk with us. Got to give you guys props. You guys are awesome viewers. I have some of the best subscribers in the world. I really do.
How long have we been on so far?
I have to thank you guys a lot. Seriously.
What's it been like? How long? It's been over an hour, I think.
Oh, no. Yeah. Our live stream right now, we're officially at an hour and no, we're officially at, wait a minute. Oh God, we're at 2 hours, 25 minutes.
See, that's the problem. It's like I could talk cars, you know, and I'll just keep going and going. But yeah, we should probably wrap it up already. I have to start get your
Yep. Well, guys, that was it. If you liked this video and you want to see more of John on the channel, JMC Rides, you got to 100% subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. Like this video, share this video. Comment on it. Once it goes to YouTube and it posts and it's no longer in a live status, watch some of it. Watch a couple of minutes of it so it gets a view. Like it, share it, and I'll have them on the channel more. And we'll do something like maybe once every other week or once a week. We'll just we'll do some live videos and we'll just talk car talk. Maybe we'll do a blog or a podcast. Maybe it'll be a full podcast. I'm getting a better camera, guys.
Maybe some IRL on Twitch too. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm going to get a better camera too and get a better location in the house. And maybe we'll do a once a week. It'll be car talk with Driveway Demons and JMC. Maybe we'll do a collab once a week where we'll do something big.
Maybe if we tried doing something like this on the Twitch side, like on the IRL, no joke, exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
To see if people start coming.
Yeah.
Because I see people throwing big money over there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I agree. We'll definitely keep in touch and I'm going to work on some content and figure out, you know, what would be a good idea. We could try the Twitch out. And if you want to do once a week, maybe we could do you know, Thursday or Friday or maybe Tuesday, whatever day is good for you. I, you know, could work it out so that we've got ourselves a 1 hour window once a week, and we can go on YouTube and, you know, we talk about multiple subjects. You could text me the couple of subjects you have. I'll text you what I got. And when we go live, we'll know what to expect, and we'll just have a blast in here. And I think, and we could do a live video on your channel too.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll do one on your channel once a week, one on my channel once a week. I think that'll help our channels grow. I really do, like severely, like big time.
Oh, I agree.
So maybe we'll just, you pick out the best days, the best 2 days for you. And maybe we'll do 1 hour on mine, 1 hour on yours. And every week our subscribers will look forward to those days.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, we'll figure out the day. Like the thing with me is my job.
Yeah.
My job, if I go out to a client, it changes.
Yeah.
It change any day, basically. But I think we could probably at least do it every week. And every other week we alternate on, you know, on the other person's channel.
Yeah, that would make sense. That'd be perfect. Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Thanks so much for stopping in and watch me and, you know, JMC chat for 2 hours and 30 something minutes about cars and about interviewing him about YouTube and all the stuff we talked about. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys. And like I said, if you haven't already, check out his channel. A lot of good content up there. Off-roading, Hellcat stuff, some races in Mexico throughout the videos. A lot of good stuff on there. Even went to the Mopar New York City takeover, which is where I met him for the first time. He came right up behind me. I didn't even expect it. He was just like, hey. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, cool. I didn't know you were here. That was a really awesome day. I met Big Truck the same day. So a lot of fun. And my son's saying goodbye. Say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, bye, buddy. Thanks for stopping in, JMC. Thanks for everybody for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next live feed and the next videos. I'm going to sign off, and he can sign off how he signs off his videos. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Take care, and have a great night.
All right, guys.